on. I thought I had a couple minutes extra. Apparently I don't. He's just already here. Give me 1 second.
New relaunch message that is being taken completely different ways by people around the world.
What?
And we've even got more than that, if you can believe it. If we have time, we can talk about inflation.
That's good.
And
that's hot.
I definitely want to talk about PETA and some more celebrity opinions on politics this week. So we've got...
It's really like the most basic shit. Celebrity opinions on politics.
This week. I want to say thank you to everyone
cares about
who
your
supports
opinion?
this content. Whether you're here live on stream
make
and
more
you support
movies
it
or whatever.
via subs, gifted subs, or tips, all of which are great ways to support the content on this channel. Or if you are someone who watches the clips that I've been putting out over the course of the week on my DSP Reacts channel
12 minutes in.
and watches those and engages with them.
Not even.
Or perhaps
most of it was like
you're an actual member
shows
on the DSP Reacts channel, and you've been submitting.
I was pointing out how terrible his new system is, by the way.
Stories
Hang on, let me turn
and
him down.
suggestions
It's pissing me off.
for topics.
He's
I
begging.
appreciate that as well.
The way his new system works is he comes on earlier, but because he has his shitty slideshow, he ends up being on by the old time he used to start the slideshow. So by the end of it, it's like a half-an-hour difference, maybe.
Between subs, gifted subs, or tips. Greatly appreciate if we could do that and keep our streak alive. We had 89 straight streams.
This streak is so fake, by the way. It's just
we're already
nothing.
talking about this week 2 new exciting DSP Tries It ideas.
No way you eat some burgers?
That triple Whopper challenge I wanted to do last week.
Of course, you're gonna eat fucking burgers.
The Whoppers weren't on the delivery app, so if they get re-added, maybe we'll do that. Or maybe checking out Popeyes, which I haven't had Popeyes chicken in so effing long.
I love this guy.
I don't even know if it's the same, to be honest. That could be a good DSP Tries It. So, good stuff.
I like to eat a burger or chicken.
By the way, if you're looking for any of the videos from earlier today, none of them are live. I did the DSP Tries It. It ended around like 4:30 p.m. I got to uploading, and none of those videos completed uploading, which is what I've been telling you guys about these weird YouTube bottlenecks.
God, who cares?
Some days, it seems like
when does the actual stream start? This is like literally, I started it like a minute ago,
taking the files,
and the stream, like, I started talking 30 seconds later.
So tonight, when I finish with Dspolitics, I will upload
the
all of those videos.
And he's just yapping.
FYI. So,
he's not even talking about
we're
politics.
Begin shortly. I want to say thank you.
Whatever the fuck this is.
Darkside Pimp just gifted 2 subs to the community, and that is great.
Oh hell yeah, the cuckold and cheat.
Darkside Pimp. Let's get that.
Darkside Pimp is now gifted 523,
making them our first contributor of the night, and $10
He's
in contributions.
Him and like 2 other guys are single-handedly funding DSP right now.
I have no clue how it'll go tonight. The last few weeks that I've done this,
he's still worried.
It has varied greatly, but it seems like
he's very great. What, did the other one go terribly?
Sometimes the viewership
I missed the other one.
skyrockets, and other times it doesn't.
I didn't miss it. I tried to stream it, but that wouldn't.
Honestly, hopefully, I hope that we'll get a lot of viewers tonight. I don't know how many we will get. Once we get started here.
When is that?
I guess we'll find out, right?
It started.
But it should be a good time regardless. I hope you.
I was happy when I saw he like shifted all his stuff back because I thought, great, because I live in the UK, I can actually
have any questions?
not be streaming until like 5 in the morning.
This week.
But no.
Or shall we get into it? By the way, just a reminder,
There's
I'm
no
not
hype in these.
Here
it's so lame.
Tomorrow is actually my day off. Normally, I would do Dspolitics on a Thursday night. I have the first 2 weeks. But this week, I had to do it tonight because yesterday was American Thanksgiving, which is why there's a schedule change. Next week, unless I am off on Thursday, which I might be.
Some guy in chat, I know your schedule more than my own work schedule. We know this.
I think the only day off that we can have together would be Thursday, but I don't know if she wants to go out that day or not. So
Holy
I don't know what's
fuck,
happening.
Who cares? That's a you issue, brother.
I'm very confused about what's happening this coming week. Darkside Pimp with another gifted sub. Thank you so much, Darkside Pimp. I think these are targeted, like he's actually specifically giving them
to people
here. Rather than just dropping the random bomb, I think he's trying to target people who don't have them. So that way, instead of it going to people who already have them and extending them,
O's are really his worst enemy.
Fresh ones out to people, which is very nice. So thank you, Darkside Pimp. Oh, I'm being asked, how is my stomach after eating the Wendy's from earlier in the DSP Tries It? No exaggeration, I just unloaded. Let's put it that way.
Now I'm talking about shit.
I'm feeling all right right now. I think I'm okay. Unlike
we've begged and we've talked about taking a
over
shit.
a decade ago when I
This
ate
is
that
truly
taco
the
salad.
DSP stream.
I think that the veggies were actually fresh, so I think I'm okay. I think the problem was the combination of old veggies plus the
When I go to
chili
watch my
and everything
favorite
together,
political
like, killed my
streamer,
guts.
Hassan,
But
I
it's
listen
actually
to
not
him
feeling bad at
talk
all right
about
now.
taking
I
a
only
shit
had to
for
go
10 minutes
once,
before
and I'm
I,
feeling, you know,
before I
quite
listen to
normal.
his opinions on, like,
It just sucks that the food wasn't good. You know,
what does he give his
burger was
opinions
bleh.
on? I don't know.
The salad was bad
Hate them all.
because the dressing was disgusting. The chili was awful, and
Doesn't Hassan just,
frosting
like,
was
watch something
melted.
and
It
just,
tasted
like,
butterscotch,
disappear
not
for
salt
20
caramel,
minutes
so
and
it's
come
like
back and say it was fascism?
not exactly the most satisfying.
That's every
DSP
clip I've ever
strategy
seen
I've
of
ever
him.
done.
Just
I
watching,
really
like,
wish
some
that I had,
completely banana going, yep,
you know, something
that's
different. But what
racist.
can you do, right?
DSP should do that.
Hopefully next week will be much better, no matter what, depending on what we do. I guess we'll see. So yeah. Okay.
Wait, how he ate Wendy's
All right,
chili? I didn't
Maxwell
know
Beal
this.
says first time I could stick around for a full episode.
He really
of
is
Beats
just
on
the
Bump.
ultimate
Mark, how
lolcow.
are you? He says Wendy's chili looked terrible. Slayer's here tonight.
It's Wendy's
Can't wait for the
chili,
show.
bro. They
Not
just
sure if his
chuck in
suggestion got into
anything.
the show. Basically, I have your suggestion here, but it depends on time. Like this would be one of the quick stories we cover near the end of the show. It's definitely not one of the big topics of the week. But
The big
I
topics
appreciate your
like
suggestion. I always
celebrities
have like
doing
things on
things
standby
or
for
something.
this
I don't
show
know
that we can
what he
get to
meant by
if we
that.
have time. So
There was something
we'll see how the
celebrity
show
based.
goes. We'll see how long it takes for me to discuss each topic. We're late already? No, we're not. We're not late.
We
turned the
are.
stream
We're
on,
very
like,
late.
Maybe 10 minutes late. And
Okay, so we are late
we're
then.
just chilling here. We're in no rush. You know, the show's gonna run till around 9 p.m.
We're not late. Okay, we're
Time.
10 minutes late. This guy,
All right.
he really is late all the time. That's
Okay,
crazy.
shall we begin? I never know how many people are gonna show up to this show, so I'm just gonna
No
start.
one. 'Cause it's
and we'll see what
ass.
happens.
Just me.
You know, the first week we had
No one
a
even bothers
crazy
to
amount. Last
restream
week we
this
had
shit.
a crazy amount. I don't know if we'll get that many or not. Keep in mind that I changed the date and the time
Oh
of the
my
show.
god, no one
So I don't know if
cares.
that's
Just
gonna affect
fucking
things
get
or
on
not.
with it.
I guess we'll find out shortly, shall we? All right.
Alright.
Without further ado,
I like how he
I think it
waits
is
to
time- oh,
reveal
wait a
his
minute.
face like it's a big deal.
I just received
Now
a
guys,
$10
you get to look at
tip
my
from Mars
ugly
inhabitant.
fucking
Justin
mug.
Trudeau is a hunk and a national treasure. He can do whatever he wants with his time. Canada is #1. Well, there you go.
Yep.
That is completely incorrect, but, you know, you're entitled to your opinion. Actually, I need to, here we go. I need to get you an animation for that $10 tip. Here we go. Here's what I think of Justin Trudeau. Here it
I'm
is.
eating a
Ready?
brownie.
That's Justin Trudeau. That's me. Watch what I do. And boom.
What does DSP know about Canada?
I like that animation. All right.
That's a trick question. It's nothing.
Very nice. Let's get that on the leaderboard before we start. Alrighty then.
This guy doesn't even know about like what's going on around him. He doesn't leave
There
his
goes your
house.
monk.
He doesn't know what's happening in
Backflip.
his back garden.
Anyway,
Never mind
all
what's
right.
happening in Canada.
All right, shall we get started? Real King Michael says he got a DSP tote bag and he likes it. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that
The
people are getting
chat's
their
just
merch
like
and enjoying
making
it.
fun of him
I
constantly.
know that there was a few weeks there where things were taking a long time. Everything was backed up, but apparently everything's back on track now. So, okay, ready? All right, guys, let's begin.
My mic seems to be picking up all the extra stuff. Hang on. Yeah, it's like picking up all the... Forgot about this. This is so bad. The little Elon Musk face swap I made from my thumbnail looks better than this. Look at this. This is fucking... He looks at this and thought, this is fucking amazing. So shit. It's like an old picture of him as well, I think. I mean, what is the music? This is how you do govern. Fucking epic. We're using the same clips again, we ran out. What? It loops?
Alrighty,
Okay.
everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the show. It's
Accidentally
DS
looped it or
Politics
something.
here live exclusively on Kick on DSP Gaming Reel. It is Friday, November 29th, 2024. Had to reschedule this week because of
Yeah,
American
you- oh
Thanksgiving
my
yesterday.
God.
I
I'm gonna
hope that
kill
you
myself.
and yours, if you are American, had a great holiday. I certainly had a good
Fake
one.
ass holiday.
And now it is time to talk politics, my friends. This week, we've got a wide variety of topics. We do. We've got
I'm a variety content
Thanksgiving.
creator.
We've got tariffs. We've got sentencings that have been indefinitely postponed. We've got riots in the streets and people in charge dancing at concerts during it. We've got Jaguar going crazy with their company.
Not the Jaguar ad.
Just all kinds of stuff.
It.
Really, good variety of topics.
What's this got to do with cars, you fucking
idiot? I hope that you are
idiots?
here to enjoy. I certainly am. And FYI, the way that this works, it's about a 2-hour show. And
also, a middle-of-the-road guy. All these are very obviously skewed in one direction.
We have more time for certain topics and other times
I don't really
we
care.
actually
Like, if he wants to be like a right-wing guy, that I don't really give a shit. But like, at least be honest with yourself.
It is an interactive show. If you contribute with a sub or gifted sub or a tip,
it's interactive.
Tonight,
the interaction is you giving me money
and add it to the leaderboard. Our goal is 150, and we're trying to continue on with that streak of 89 straight streams where I've been hitting my goals. So if you like Dspolitics, please support the content here on Kick. I would greatly appreciate that. Also, keep in mind that I do not archive this show on YouTube at all. It is archived here on Kick, so if you miss some of the stream and you want to watch it back, it's usually live here for about a week as an archive. And I highlight it.
What? It's live for like a month. I mean, it's archived for a month, isn't it?
Topics, and I clip them out and I upload them over on my DSP Reacts channel. That's youtube.com/@DSPReacts.
My God, he's giving you the full fucking URL.
Dspolitics playlist. It's done really well. Those videos are getting way more attention and views than anything that I put out on that channel in like the last year.
I hate when he does this. I don't care.
It gives the channel rejuvenation. It was just kind of sitting there stagnant with my old show. This show has really picked things up over there. Now, a quick reminder. If you'd like to actually be a part of the show,
give me more money, guys.
Submit information and topics for me to review for the show that I might talk about. If you become a submissions tier member over on the DSP Reacts channel for $5 a month, you can submit as much as you want weekly in a community post that I put up there on the channel. And let me tell you, it has helped a lot. Those have been topics that I've talked about now 2 straight weeks. I've picked certain things out. Sometimes it's a backup topic. Sometimes it's a main topic, dependent. I will just say this.
It's a backup topic.
Careful, don't be submitting 2+ hour videos. Someone submitted a 2-hour debate between 2 YouTubers. I'm not watching that.
Okay, well, do your job and cut it down.
I mean, if you want to link a news article or a topic for me to focus on,
guys, edit videos
and
send them to me.
Opinions about politics. That's not what this is about. It's about my take on politics based on my experience and opinions. Okay.
What experience?
Darkside Pimp
working like 3 jobs and then sitting at home all day.
Over on Kick here. So let me go ahead and add that.
Working 3 jobs in like the 2000s and then sitting on his ass for the rest of the
thank you, Darkside Pimp, for the early
2
support.
decades.
I really appreciate that. This is up to $30 out of our 150 total. Thank you guys so very much. I know we're on a different date and a different situation here. I don't know how popular the show will be tonight, being that I did move it around for the Thanksgiving holiday.
Also, it's got a lot of viewers, but look how slow the chat is. I don't know actually how many views does it have. Let me check.
So knowing that maybe some people are, lagging behind, maybe we'll get some latecomers. I don't know. But anyway, I'm happy to share my thoughts on politics.
Holy, it's dead. It's dead in the water, boys. This is all his viewers because it's only on here. Last time I had about 1,000 by this time.
All right, our first
or like
topic
600,
of the
I think.
night.
152 viewers is crazy.
At all of those cases that were leveraged against now President-elect Donald Trump. And what I mean by that is, if you remember,
oh my God, I hate how he has the tab showing. Literally, all you do is you click on your little screen on OBS, you hold the Alt key, and you just go
basically out of nowhere.
You know what, I'll do it for him. I'll do it for him because I'm such a great guy.
Election that just happened, Donald Trump started getting indicted for a whole bunch of stuff. Notably, the biggest one that everyone's talked about is that he had a hush money payment to Stormy Daniels, a porn star, supposedly
get rid of that, Phil?
for an interaction that they had years and years ago that he didn't want her to talk about during the last presidential campaign.
Yeah, it's literally just him reading articles. It's crazy.
Basically, he was indicted for that. Now, actually, if you look into the story, that's not the story at all. The story is Donald Trump, like many rich people, was basically trying to save money on taxes and or rigmarole the books so that he didn't have to pay as much money as he normally would have. What do I mean? Well, basically, he had a lawyer.
You should do this, Phil.
And that lawyer was paying money to various parties during this whole thing going down. And he wanted to classify his payment to the lawyer as something different than what it really was to save money on taxes and or fees or whatever it may be. That's not legal. It's basically illegal to do that. You have to classify your money
properly. You have to pay your
properly
taxes
in
as
the
well,
books.
but you didn't do that.
So he was trying to maneuver the books, cook the books. But it's funny because all of the liberal media have covered this story as this is Donald Trump's big hush money indictment. No, it's not. He's never been indicted for hush money. What are you talking about? He's being indicted because he paid his lawyer a financial payment and called it something it wasn't. It had nothing to do with
that's still illegal?
So I don't know why they all these, you know.
Okay, I don't care what CNN's reports though, but like if he cooked his books and they got him for it, then that's illegal.
For making a hush money payment ever, but that's what they all reported. Anyway, on top of that, there were things all over the place that people were trying to hit him with, all these lawsuits and issues, because they felt if we drag him through court during the election, the American people will not
fucking slime ball.
Okay,
the minute Trump won, he's his biggest dick rider.
Did he do things wrong?
Why weren't you debunking this at the time, Phil? You could have started DSP Politics early and got ahead of this. You could have made an impact.
It's not a hush money payment that really he did wrong, but he did misclassify financial payments for personal gain. That is a crime. And Donald Trump, in my opinion, should be held accountable for any crimes that he's committed. The problem with this is that we have an entire system, a governmental system, where the people at the top frequently do this. It's not just Donald Trump doing it.
But he
wasn't
did
the
it.
one bad apple. They all do.
Yeah, I know they all do it, but he also did it.
The thing is, they all pat each other on the back. You know, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. And they all just let it happen, and no one ever gets in trouble for it. No one ever gets investigated. No one ever gets indicted. No one ever gets into trouble.
Trump should do the DSP defense. I've been president for 4 years, and no one arrested me yet, so it's clearly fine.
So they decided now will be the one time, the exception to their set of rules, where they're going to go after someone.
I feel like loads of people being arrested or like charged for not doing taxes right.
That's really what it was.
Like rich people as well, not even like
a witch hunt. Is it a witch hunt? Not necessarily, but
they're just all going after
it.
It
is an unfair use of the legal system where
it's pretty fair actually.
Who's rich and powerful and famous or a politician can do this. But Donald Trump was not allowed to.
Well, there's not two sets of laws, Phil.
President, and people don't like him. So then they went after him. It really was politically motivated when you analyze it. Okay? So this week, man, did everything fall apart. All of Trump's criminal cases have basically had their charges dropped or they're completely derailed. Let's take a look at this by this article.
Let's read out the article and just go, yep.
Special counsel Jack Smith dropped the federal government's 2 criminal cases against President-elect Donald Trump on Monday.
He doesn't know.
As Trump's state cases are already poised to be delayed for
let's just shut him up for a second. Let's debate.
Office,
does Phil refuse to get ad block because he's like weird about it and he thinks it's like stealing money from people and him, so he doesn't want to set an example like that? He doesn't want to be seen with ad block, or does he do it because does he not have ad block because he's really stupid?
And Trump's criminal case in Georgia is expected to be postponed until at least 2029. Leaving Trump's New York conviction as the only charges against him that have been holding up.
I actually was reading the news article. Why did I expect anything else?
After he leaves office, and Judge Juan Merchan is still weighing whether to throw out the verdict. So here's all the cases against Trump. We're gonna just go through
this guy in chat.
I won't go into massive detail. But basically, here's the ones that were against him.
I have a really small screen.
There was a federal election case. Trump was indicted in August of 2023.
Yeah, he's just cooking him in chat.
2020 election. It was supposed to go to trial in March, but Trump said, hey, can we pause that? Because I might have presidential immunity. And then the Supreme Court granted at least partial immunity in July about that.
Okay, well, if he's president, then he'd get away with it until he stops being president.
They feel like there's no way that this case will ever go through.
There's a reason why they do it that way.
President, how can you try him for interfering in an election that happened before when the people have spoken? This is our leader. Okay? Federal documents case.
But that was 2020, wasn't it?
In June 2023 for allegedly withholding White House documents and obstructing the government's investigation into them. And while Cannon originally
It's a
scheduled
bit
the
of
case
a
to go to
bit
trial
of a
in May,
mental
Trump filed
shutdown
a
for a
number of
second.
motions trying to drag out the case, and basically they slow walked it. And now that basically he is elected, you know, they're like, well, I don't think that this is really going to stick. So now it looks like the case has been dropped entirely.
Is this such a thing? Obviously, it was political, and obviously
case.
after
he's
won, they're going to just not bother.
Hush money case that everyone is
Because
talking
he's got
about.
immunity for like 4 years now,
So it was the only one to go to
I don't
trial
know
so far.
what needs to be covered here. Like, this is done.
In May of 34 counts of
I
falsifying
don't understand.
business records based on hush
This
money
really is just going back and going,
This is all wrong.
I told you so.
The falsifying of business records, okay? He paid money to his lawyer.
To falsify business records?
It was not him paying hush money to Stormy Daniels. This is a lie. This is literally a lie. Again, we're reading an article that's a lie. This is driving me nuts because why is Forbes allowed to get away with this? Okay? There was a trial about Trump paying his attorney money, and he said it was for one thing, but it was for another because he was trying to save money. He was basically trying to get out of paying fees or taxes or whatever it was on the payment. That's it. He was not being indicted for a hush money payment to Stormy Daniels, but read that. Just read that. Falsifying business records based on hush money payments made to adult film stars.
But he's going, there's no payment, but also he lied about all the other payments.
False. How are they fucking allowed to do this? I don't know. This drives me insane.
Yeah, and people shouldn't be able to lie on the internet, Phil.
That is
That's
not
bad.
the reason that this was being tried. And
You know what? They should arrest people for lying on the internet.
None of this at all is true. This
You
is
go
all
first.
Bullshit. Okay? So, anyway, what happened with it? Well, here's what happened with it. He delayed his sentencing, which was scheduled for July. Merchant paused deadlines in the case after prosecutors said they needed to evaluate how the case would move forward in light of Trump's election. He ruled on Friday to postpone the sentencing while Trump tries to have the verdict thrown out.
He's not even a good porn star. Who's your favorite porn star, Phil? This is Dspolitics.
Said before Merchant's ruling that while they don't want the verdict to be dismissed entirely, they think it would be fair to postpone the sentencing until after Trump leaves office. Essentially, he's
so it doesn't matter.
Immune to anything until he's not president
anymore. Yeah, it's presidential immunity. They all have it.
Is it really going to go through or not? Probably not. And then there's a Georgia election case. Trump and his allies were indicted in August 2023 for their efforts to overturn the 2020 election. While a trial date for Trump was not set in the case, Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis asked for a trial to take place in August before Trump and his co-defendants asked for Willis to be disqualified from the case over her romantic relationship with lead prosecutor
that's pretty funny on
Nathan Wade. And so they ruled that she could stay on the case, but Wade had to resign. The case is still on pause while an appeals court considers the issue. So that's basically it. That's all of that crap.
Okay, that was fun. That was a good article.
In truth,
what's this? That's a new pose.
If this was actually done all properly, would it ever have even gotten as far as it did? It's a good question because you might have heard a few things in there that were tossed around, such as, wait a minute, are you saying that the judge in one case was dating an attorney? That's not allowed. Well, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Basically, everyone involved was Democratic or liberal. Yeah.
Is that even true?
I mean, they were the only ones who were going after Trump.
Like, it doesn't say that anywhere.
This kind of thing that he did.
Is it something he heard secondhand? Because that's what it seems like.
Is literally a commonplace thing that people of his stature, business people, rich people,
it's still completely illegal.
All day, every day. And no one ever goes after them for it, ever.
Like, I agree it was probably politically motivated, but are we really going to act like it's, like, fine? Because, like...
Right? So what's happening now?
Well, all the other rich people do it, so everyone should be able to cheat on the taxes. Donald Trump lies on his taxes, so I'm going to lie on mine.
If anything,
I mean, he's a person too, and I'm a person.
He has to serve his entire term as president. Then after 4 years passes, they may or may not reevaluate and go back after him. Will they really go back after him?
I don't know yet. We'll have to wait 4 years so I can give my opinion.
Also, there's this guy named Jack Smith. Okay, this guy was the one who had a lot of these cases going after Trump. He was like the guy to get Trump, to nail Trump. Well, guess what? It looks like what he's going to do is file a final report, and he is expected to step down and resign before Trump takes power. So basically, even the guy who was set to get Trump, get him before he gets elected, he's backing out and running away.
Yeah, because he's been elected. Well,
Trump's New York City go forward. It's unclear. The judge has to decide. 2 of Trump's motions to dismiss the verdict against him because he claimed both his convictions should be thrown out because of his election and because of the Supreme Court's ruling giving him immunity from criminal charges. So it's not going to be decided until at least December 9th. But again, they're probably just going to rule that, hey, he's president now. We can't do anything to him until after his presidency ends.
This is such a pointless... I feel like we've been repeating the same thing.
Against the prosecutors.
Get revenge. What's he going to do?
That's an interesting question. Trump has vowed retribution against his political enemies when he retakes
Will Trump
the White
murder
House,
every
and has
single
singled out
person who ever
Smith
wronged him?
as someone that he wants
Perhaps.
revenge against. Jack Smith, who we just talked about, threatening to deport the special counsel even though he is not an immigrant.
That's pretty funny, actually.
That's great. I'm going to deport you, but I'm not an illegal immigrant. I don't care. I'm going to deport your ass anyway. Others involved with Trump's cases who he's attacked include Carroll, Merchant, and Willis, as well as New York Attorney General Letitia James and New York Judge Arthur Engoron, who brought and adjudicated the civil fraud case, respectively. On the flip side, Cannon may be rewarded by a future President Trump, as he's repeatedly praised the judge for favorable rulings she's issued in the documents case. So,
Yeah, let's shim on stuff for a second.
let's be honest here, all right? Let's be very shockingly honest here. I'm going to tell you guys, you know, so
big
I don't
screen.
like
It's
Donald
simple.
Trump. I've said this before.
Oh my
I
god,
actually
we
feel
get
like
it,
Donald
dude.
Trump
Fucking just suck his
is a
dick
guy who's
already.
very crude, who is not necessarily always under self-control. And
Guys,
that's the
I
problem.
don't like
If he's
Trump,
supposed
but
to be
I will
president,
agree and
he
defend
should
him
be
at
under
every
control,
single moment.
right? The thing is, a lot of people around the
Like,
world,
it's so
again, he's
vague,
kind of a
his
blowhard,
issues.
he's big, loud-winded, right? He makes these
Loud-winded?
tweets and stuff like that, and they get it. But there are people out there. I mean, Putin or
Putin.
you know,
Why
North
is he so
Korea
fucking
or
weird?
China, they may be very angry.
Why does he
if
struggle with the
says
English language
something
so
that they
much?
feel is over the
Putin.
top, too over exaggerated, too over blustering.
Over
And
blustering.
I do feel like, sadly,
There's a new word
if
a
he
minute.
doesn't tone down his rhetoric in the second presidency, people are going to use that against him constantly. The thing is, a lot of people like that about him. They like the fact that, unlike Biden,
DSP loves it
where
'cause it's like
Biden
WWE.
carefully chooses his words, and, you know, careful about this or that. Trump doesn't care. He's just a normal guy like us, and he gets
He's just a
angry,
normal
he blows
guy.
his top,
I'm basically
right?
Donald Trump.
But is that necessarily the best to be a world leader? We've had him as a world leader for 4 years, and based on that initial 4 years, I definitely think that this next 4 could be interesting. Let's just put it that way, all right? For good and bad reasons. The thing is here,
go into
do
that?
I think that Trump
No,
should have
okay.
gotten away with some of the things he did? The one thing that he's been convicted of in a court of law is that he falsified documents essentially to save some money, right? Should he get off for that? Honestly, no, I don't think he should. I think he should serve his presidency, and then they should go
Okay,
back to
we're going
it,
down
and
this
he should get
road,
in
are we?
trouble for
Guy
doing
who lied
Now,
on his
what's
tax
the penalty
forms
for that?
uh,
He falsified some
thinks a guy
documents
should be
to
arrested
save
for
money.
lying on his
I don't
tax
know.
forms.
Is it jail time? Is it just a fee, a slap on the wrist, whatever it is? He should be the same as everyone else. He should be held accountable. All right? However, it shouldn't just be Trump. It should be everyone is held accountable for what they do. Not just, oh, Trump was the one they focused on, which is exactly what's happened here. Trump was the one they focused on to try to stop him from being elected. That's bullshit. Everyone should be held accountable for their actions in life, and everyone should be held to the same standard of justice in the U.S. justice system. If
I agree,
not,
we
if there
should
is
take Phil back to
preferential
court.
prosecution and preferential treatment, that means the system is broken and completely unfair. And we're supposed to be living
That's
in a
true. There's
country where
people who had
everyone has
businesses
equal
that went
rights.
out of, like,
Everyone
you
gets
know,
treated
who went
equally.
bankrupt and they've
That's not
struggled
the
and
case
they've
with
tried
what just
everything they
happened with
could.
Donald Trump. If
They never got the
he's gonna have
bankruptcy,
all
but this
go
guy got it.
through, it has to
That's
go
not
through
fair.
for everybody else. All right. Now I'm sorry, but let's be honest here. In the U.S. government, constant favoritism, constant levels of people getting away with stuff. I'm just going to give you one easy
for example.
Nancy Pelosi
Have you
is
noticed
the
the little,
best
like,
investor on the planet, supposedly.
the two little two
Okay.
fingers together?
How is Nancy Pelosi
That's a new thing.
the best investor on the planet? She and her family
Little okay
invested
signs with both hands.
magically in NVIDIA, a company that does graphics cards and things like that, right before
Look at this. Look at the
NVIDIA
fingers.
had a huge breakthrough in AI, and she made an insane windfall of
investing?
profits.
What?
How the fuck did she know to invest in NVIDIA at that perfect time when no one else did?
I don't know. What
You expect
what does
me
that
to
mean?
believe it was dumb luck? Of course not.
What, she like...
She's in the U.S. government. Someone tipped her in. She's rich already. She
Okay,
invests her wealth in it. Boom. Makes tons of money. Now,
it's not like she like
gonna
I don't know, like
investigate
shot all the people who own like
trading,
AMD graphics cards or something.
All the evidence is there. So if
someone
not,
maybe tipped
then
her
why
off.
does everyone go after Donald Trump for
so
stuff?
she should be arrested.
You know what I mean? That's bullshit. It's either you go after everyone or you go after no one. Now, we cherry pick. We decide.
Look at this. Look at the fingers, man.
Case basis, who we
like
like
fused
to go
together.
like at the time.
He's doing a little dance.
Go after. If that's the case, all of us should be worried.
Well,
God
you
forbid,
should be
but
worried.
What
yes.
happens if you upset your government? What if you upset the government? You said something right now. I could say something on this show that pisses off the U.S. government, and all of a sudden, they could try to nail me to the wall with.
Well, you're not Donald Trump.
Because they just don't like me right now. But everyone else could be doing exactly the same thing as me. But then
literally
okay.
every government can do
fair?
this. By the way,
is that a true legal process? No, that's completely unfair.
The UK government can just make things illegal and arrest you for them as well.
If this is the case, and this is how it's going to work in America, I'm sorry, we need to tear the system
apart. UK government are literally arresting people for tweets.
This person gets off,
and because some people get away with taxes, DSP's worried they're going to come after them now.
Enough is enough. I've had enough. You know, it's just not right. That's not what our country stands for. That's not how our country should be. It should be equal treatment for all. And the truth is, I don't like Donald Trump, and I do feel that if he actually did commit those crimes, okay?
The fucking fingers, look at him, man. They haven't left.
But then everyone else should.
They like fused together at this point.
Quite frankly, a sweeping up of our government, because I guarantee you, if
we got
all
it back.
those people got investigated for their things that the suspect that they did wrong,
this is new, right?
Jail right now. No exaggeration.
I'm not even listening to anyone. I'm just looking at his fingers.
All get away with it because again, it's
wait.
Pat me on the back. I'll pat you on the back. We all overlook what everyone's doing as long as we stay ahead and we stay at power and we stay rich.
Do you think there's like
everything,
I don't know?
It's all good.
He thinks there's like I don't. It sounds like he's trying to like say there's like some sort of like Illuminati almost.
That's not America.
Like they're all helping each other out instead of the fact that they're all individually really doing their own thing.
Or a senator or someone who owns a corporation, it doesn't mean that you should be immune to the system. That's not how it was ever designed.
I think he really relates to Trump.
Be overhauled. I
don't know. It's just
those grouping of
like,
people.
Guys, they went after Trump. They could come after me next. It's like, bro, you are not
1% for a
president-elect Donald Trump.
They literally hold on to most of the wealth, and it's 1% of the population.
What
and
the
they're
hell?
immune to anything, right? They fail up constantly, and they can never be at fault.
Failing up,
never get in trouble. No, enough is enough. You're gonna go after Trump. Everyone should go after them as well.
The 1%, get him. He's like starting some like revolutionary shit.
Okay. Thank you. That's the first story of the day. Finish that one up. Let me go ahead and close it so I remember that we talked about it.
Let me get some nice music. Let me get some.
Okay, a couple shout outs. Darkside Pimp
Let me get some
gifted
nice
a sub.
jazz music.
So I want to be sure to catch that. Thank you, Darkside Pimp, for the gifted sub. Somehow lost my leaderboard. There it is. He's up to 5 gifted subs tonight. Thank you so much, Darkside Pimp. And I just received a $1 tip here. It's just a troll, so I could just ignore it. Very nice.
There we go.
Okay. Real briefly, I am going to close my window partially because actually it's getting quite cold here tonight. So bear in mind with me here for a second.
What generally was that? Let's have like a let's gather our thoughts here. Trump is being arrested, so that means that they could come after you at any moment.
We're just dipping around here.
Something about the 1%.
It's approaching quickly. Hui. Yeah, there you go. Darkside Pimp with a quote. He says, "It's a big club and we're not in it." George Carlin.
Darkside Pimp gets fucking jerked off like a motherfucker right now.
They get everything.
Any message he puts in chat.
They control everything.
I agree with you, Darkside Pimp.
Get treated differently.
Good point,
they get,
Darkside Pimp.
They get the pass, right? And if anything, that's what this Trump.
This literally is every. This happens in every single government.
Is corrupted and is doing these unfair.
I'm sure
things,
Trump will stop it.
And that it needs to be fixed. Okay. All right. So I hope that you guys are enjoying. That was only our first of many stories here tonight.
Enjoy.
Let's continue on. Get right into the next one. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, President-elect Donald Trump, following along with this line of
there's like other things going on that aren't related to the president.
To levy some tariffs against our neighbors in the United States, both to the south with Mexico and to the north with Canada. And this has stirred up a lot of discussion and a lot of controversy this week, notably not only among people just talking about politics, but
DSP
among
economics,
the world leaders of Mexico and Canada, respectively.
Okay, yeah, I love how
let's take a
he
quick
doesn't
look
like
here
go into like the actual like numbers or like
discussion.
Anything specific. He just it's like personal drama he goes into.
Trump is
look what this leader said about another leader.
War, or so it seems.
Like he's very WWE.
So there's 50 days left till
Look,
Trump
these two
takes
people are arguing.
office, but he's basically saying he's going to sign an executive order placing a 25% tariff on all imports from Canada and Mexico, along with an additional 10% tariff on imports from China and a purported retaliation for drugs and migrants crossing U.S. borders.
Off the rest of
Although the president-elect promised to issue universal tariffs on the campaign trail, hitting all the goods imported from overseas, these are specifically targeted at the U.S.'s 3 largest trading partners. Trump said he will sign the executive order on the 20th of January, his first day in office. So what the tariff is very simple, okay? Tariffs are taxes. Anyone who's going to send their product into our country and try to sell it here, well, he's going to put a tax on it to make it more expensive for them to do that. And basically that tax goes right to the government.
They should just ask the viewers
that money and
to
use
pay
it
for it.
Whatever it wants. So why would Trump do that? Well, there's various different reasons why. Maybe he just needs the money, and our country is in an insanely huge financial deficit, so this would obviously help our budgets.
I'm once again asking for your support.
What he's essentially saying is he feels that these particular 3 countries, Canada, Mexico, and China, are responsible for a lot of bad things happening, whether it's drugs, crime, illegal immigrants, and by putting these tariffs in place, this is going to tell them, hey, clean up your act, because if you don't, we're going to keep these tariffs in place, and it's going to make it very expensive for you to do business in the United States.
You see all the people crying on like Twitter about how they can't get like shit off Shein or
this article says who pays for tariffs.
What's that other one?
The truth is, it is those countries that will pay for tariffs.
Those shitty China clothes or whatever.
The end result
Funny as fuck.
Is that sadly, most of the time when a tariff is imposed, it's the people of the country where the tariff is imposed that get the shaft. Meaning,
well, originally, yeah, but then...
I'll give you an example here.
But then,
let's say
companies are moved back to the US to avoid the tariffs,
from China. All right? I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying, let's assume we import car parts from China. Let's say right now, to get a particular car part, it's $25. But now, Trump is going to put a 10% tariff on all products coming in from China. So that means they have to make less money on the sale. So what happens is, the company selling it just raises the prices.
10% is, yeah.
So now, when you go to buy that part that used to be $25, now it's $28. So actually, even though the tariff is in place, you think, oh, that's really going to put a stranglehold on the country. In reality, it's the consumer.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is it makes it worse in the short term, but then in the long term, it's better off, right? Because then jobs and factories,
now here's the thing, that's actually not what's supposed to happen.
The US.
Okay, the intention is that you do put the choke on the company, and the company says, oh crap, we need to make more profit, so we better do the right thing, so the tariff will be removed. But for some odd, bizarre reason, we allow this to happen. We allow these companies to raise their prices, and when they do, we pay. And that does confuse me.
Well, don't pay for that.
Last time I checked, we are in a free market. Like, you're not forced to buy the Chinese car part. You could buy another car part, correct? You have the option when you go to the store. I could buy this one, or this one, or this one. But herein lies the rub, folks. Here's what's happened in the United States that you don't realize. We actually don't have choice anymore. Right now, I guarantee you, if you go to the store and you have something that
I guarantee you, that sounds like a very confident
there's probably 3 options,
statement. And
they're all made in China. Wait, what?
Well, yeah,
there's 3 completely different companies making this product, and I can buy this one, or this one.
They can pay them slave wages and put suicide nets up on the outside.
So, do I really have a choice at all? No.
Well, yeah,
no
they're 3 different brands.
Buy, if the tariff goes into place, you're going to pay it. How did we get this way? Well, we got this way, very, very sadly, because everyone started going for what's the cheapest, what's the least expensive, what's the biggest deal, how can we cut a corner, how can we save money? What are his hand
movements? They're so,
and we can
like,
sit here and talk about the economics
freaky.
of this all night long. It's corporations getting greedy and saying, hey, we're just going to buy the cheapest components to build our products because it saves us money. Right? I mean, we're talking about car parts.
Like the actual
These
price of
tariffs
production.
probably
That's
affect
how every
American
company
car
works.
makers in a huge way. Because guess what? They buy all their parts from other countries.
They don't buy them. They have
here
factories in those other...
So to save money, we started buying parts from everywhere but the U.S. What happened is all those jobs, those manufacturing jobs of making those parts went away. I used to live in Bridgeport, Connecticut, okay? Bridgeport, Connecticut used to be an industrial center. There were factories building components for machines, for products throughout the entire city.
So long-winded, right? Like, this is like a 5-minute explanation.
And then what happened was these corporations said, oh, wait a minute, we can get cheaper labor and cheaper parts if we go international. So they all did that to save a buck. And you want to know what happened? They closed down all the manufacturing in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and there is none left. What there is a giant district of the city of abandoned buildings that used to be factories. And they haven't done anything with them. They just leave them abandoned. And now all the businesses have left Bridgeport and none of that exists. So what happened was we let these companies...
We let them. What are you going to do? Stop them?
How our business and our economy was going to work.
Well, yeah, because
we just need to save as much money. We need to make the maximum profits.
We let the companies decide how our economy will work. They're like 90% of the economy.
Because what I'm hearing this week is I hear about the Trump tariffs. Trump doesn't know what he's talking about because of these tariffs. No, Trump does know what he's talking about.
Bro, fucking just suck his dick already. Just fucking get his balls down your throat, mate.
Tariffs to get...
Had he actually like said like, look at this I found. I don't agree with Trump on this one yet.
If you go to a related article over here, basically what's already happened is that Trump had a conversation with the president of Mexico and said to her, listen, if you don't stop these caravans of immigrants
being the president of Mexico must be really embarrassing.
I'm going to hit you with a 25% tariff. I don't care. And she apparently in the call with him,
give it to the cartel to this point,
said, okay, I get it. This makes sense. We will have to stop it. Now you might say, wait a minute. Why would she say that now, but not in the last presidency of President Biden? Because President Biden's policy was open borders. So because he had open borders, why the hell would the president of Mexico care about caravans of Mexicans rolling towards our borders and trying to get in our country? He wouldn't.
What?
At all. President said it was okay. So of course there's no stopping it.
They
right?
aren't open
but
borders.
Now Trump is saying,
I mean, they're still illegal immigrants when they come
open borders,
over the border.
No more of this crap. Instead, we're going to have a legal process to come in and become an actual registered citizen. We're not going to let these people jump over the border anymore. So now Trump calls her, and apparently in the phone call, she said to him, okay, I agree to this. We're going to work together, and we're going to stop these caravans.
Yeah, also, most of the people coming through Mexico aren't even Mexican, right?
They're
coming from other countries.
On his Truth Social. I say tweets out, but it's his Truth Social he posts up on all the time.
Wait, no.
Whichever
says, further,
Mexico will stop people from going to our southern border effective immediately.
From further
this will go
way.
a long way towards stopping the illegal invasion of USA. Thank you. Okay? So this is what I mean about Trump being kind of a loudmouthed blowhard and why I don't like his leadership style in this regard. If he just kept his mouth shut about this agreement, it probably would have been fine. But what Trump does is he has to immediately run. Look what I did. Look what I did. It's like running to your parents with the report card.
Yeah, I want everything to be behind the scenes and secret.
Give me a golden star. He's a world leader. He doesn't need that recognition. I don't know why he's desperate for it.
We're talking about
so he opens up his mouth.
Politics.
And what ends up happening, the president of Mexico says, oh, I never said that at all. In fact, in her over here, she basically says, I never said that. Oh, and by the way, if Trump does hit us with tariffs, all right, all we're going to do is we're going to hit them back with tariffs. Now, apparently from what she's saying, whatever the products are that we get from Mexico, which I'm not familiar with, again, I'm not an expert on these economics or anything like that. She's basically claiming her government could kill 400,000 U.S. jobs and drive up prices for U.S. customers if she just decides to issue her own tariffs. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I do feel like this is a gross exaggeration.
Look at this ad.
I don't think that our world would end if products that we got from Mexico all of a sudden had a pricing.
Well, they make cars and shit in Mexico.
What are they sending us? Are they sending us components to manufacture?
No, they're making whole-ass cars.
Right off the top of our head? I don't know. So, yeah, it is kind of annoying because we're involved in this. Like, basically, Trump wants to do what's best. He doesn't want...
Well, that's what they're doing in Mexico, right?
Across the border, right? He does what he thinks is right. Like, what's he going to do? I'll impose tariffs.
We don't need cars.
Immediately, he has to open his mouth and blab about it, which is stupid, which then makes her say, oh, I didn't say that. And by the way, I'm just going to get you back more tariffs. So
look at this. This fucking world,
so stupid.
This world politics has been
all he had to do was be quiet.
down
he
into
had to
like
open his big
YouTube
mouth,
drama.
Right? So now, this is also going on with Canada.
Trump, don't respond to the trolls.
What's funny about this is, what really is going on with Canada and us? Like, I'm not aware of a war on drugs where so many drugs are coming across the border.
I think Canada should
we
get
have a bunch of illegal Canadians that are rushing our country or anything like that. I think Trump is just trying to flex a little. He's like, listen, I'm back. Daddy's back.
Because
I'm back, now you gotta listen to Daddy. Daddy says,
okay, yeah,
you're not gonna mess with us. It's this simple, all right? So, whatever you do, don't mess with us, or else we're gonna hit you with tariffs. And that's all it is. It's bluster, right? Because I don't think he really has anything against Canada. But the funny part was, Canada pulled an emergency meeting where Trudeau, President Trudeau, or is it Prime Minister Trudeau? I always get it confused what the difference is. But he basically was in a very, panicked meeting with his people. Oh my goodness, we got to be very careful about what we do because we don't want to get slapped with tariffs. Blah, blah, what products would we be hit with?
Fucking pop-up is so
if this tariff
funny.
were to go into place, and what can we hit them back with? It's actually funny because if you read some of these stories, you'll actually find out that Trudeau, of all things, did this. He actually did hit us with tariffs, but when Trump was already like on the way out of the presidency, because I guess Trump had pulled this before in his first presidency, this bluster, right? Trudeau, he put a tariff on yogurt or something like that. So we were trying to export yogurt to Canada, and he said, oh, tariff on that. And all it hurt, like there was a certain senator in a certain state who owned the yogurt company, and he's like, haha, got him.
Yes.
Like, no, not really.
The certain
I don't
senator
think anyone really
in a
cared
certain
about your
state.
10% tariff on yogurt. It wasn't a big deal. But he thought it was. He thought it was like a big win. So Trudeau ran to his people this week. Oh my God, what's going to happen if Trump hits us with these tariffs again? What would it affect? Yada, yada.
Everyone stop.
He is nervous about it.
Stop the stream.
But basically, he responded, the same way that the Mexican president did, and kind of said, well, if they hit us, we'll hit them, and blah, blah. It's just back and forth. All right. Now, in truth, do I actually feel like Trump would actually levy tariffs? Okay. Honestly, no, I don't think that he wants to. All right. My opinion, this is my opinion. You could disagree. I think he's trying to use his power. He's going to be the president again. And he's basically trying to call people's bluffs. Listen, I don't want to issue tariffs.
That's how tariffs
work. It's not what I'm looking for. It's not what I'm aiming for, right? But, hey, if you don't play ball, if you don't help us with our problems, we're going to fine you. And if your problems are coming from you, in Mexico's case, crime, drugs, immigrants, if you keep sending them our way,
not illegal ones, just immigrants,
nothing at all to stop it, and you act like it's not a problem, we're going to hit you with this financial tariff. And the truth is, it's hardball, right? And I get it. It's financial hardball. But who's it really going to hurt more? Honestly, do you think it's going to hurt the United States of America more or Mexico? It's going to hurt Mexico more. Even though their president
jumps from point to point, but makes he says very little.
Make no bones about it. It's going to hurt Mexico a hell of a lot more than it's ever going to hurt us. It will cost us a little bit of extra money a year. It might crush their economy if we hit them with big enough tariffs.
You mean a little bit extra money a year? That's like still millions and millions.
What Trump is getting at here. It's not, oh, I want to hit these tariffs because we're going to make more money. We're going to line the government's pockets to pay our deficit. That's not why he's doing it. He's doing it because he wants them to do something about the crime and the immigrants and the drugs, and they've been ignoring it for so long. He's using his power to do that, okay? So, I see a million articles about this, and I'm like, people always
using a little finger thing
he'll ruin our economy and he'll do so that. That's not his intention. That's not what he's going for, okay? That's
well, it will affect the economy if he does.
I don't think he's going to hit them with an 80% tariff to the point where now they decide to stop doing business with them, all right? All he's going to do is hit them with a tariff. Then they're going to do what they're supposed to do. Stop the fucking criminals from coming in here. And then guess what? He'll remove the tariff.
Well, that's such a like a 5-year-old way of it. Like the cartel want
giant tariff,
specifically
and then
want that to be easy
tariff.
to get into America.
You use tariffs as a leveraging system to get a foreign
and the cartel
government
basically
to do what you
run
want them
Mexico.
to do
I mean,
to help
like there's
your own
very
people.
little they
This
can
is
do.
not his plan to raise money for us. He could give two shits how much money the actual tariff raises. He just wants them to stop sending people over our borders, period, for any reason. And he's laying down the law, and this is the way that he puts his foot down and says, I'm not Biden. I'm not messing around. I'm not wishy-washy. It ends now. And if it doesn't end now, you will have your economy crushed. Simply. Now, obviously, no one, well, that's mean. Yeah, that's Donald Trump. He's mean. He's a mean guy. That's why he makes the mean tweets. That's why he's blusterous and big talking.
He really does think he's like a WWE
now,
heel.
Perhaps that will get stuff
You
done.
hate him, but
Perhaps
you love to hate him.
We won't know until he's in office
fuck.
and he decides if he's actually going to sign those tariffs into effect or not.
This
But
guy's
the
whole
truth
life is just based
he's
around like
already
YouTube
got
drama and like
these foreign
wrestling.
governments moving and thinking. He's got Canada doing a panicked war room meeting. Oh my God, what's going to happen if he hits us with these tariffs? He's got Mexico on the phone. And he's got them.
He's got the entire country of Mexico on the phone.
And then, of course, they lie about it after the fact. Oh, I never said that. Now, why would he say that then? Because he knows that what's going to happen is they're going to clap back. So it's a back and forth. If anything, though, doesn't it just feel like really lame? So a world leader called you, and the two of you had a conversation, and you agreed to mutually help each other. Then all of a sudden, we immediately have to run to the internet and to press conferences to start talking about it. And it's like, did you really?
Does he not know how journalism works and
I think
like
you
the
could have kept
press?
it under wraps. You could have had your agreements and did what was in best interest of both sides for each of your people. You didn't have to have Trump coming out blusterous on this end. The Mexican
if he says blusterous one more
I
fucking
didn't.
time.
It's like two kids arguing. He did that to me. No, I didn't do that. I said that. No, he said this.
This is the mature.
These are world leaders, and this is how they behave.
Introspective. What's another good word?
Why do you think that we have a world in crisis with all these problems?
Very
These are
smart.
the people in charge. They act like little whiny kids.
Worldview of the SP.
What the hell? Can we have just a modicum of maturity or intelligence? It's ridiculous. So, like I said, I don't like.
It's not the mouth drool of voice, Phil.
Honestly,
Like
I
on
think
Street
this is
Fighter.
probably, when you think about President
Donald Trump. There you go, do that.
This is probably the best he can do in this case. He needs immediate action, definitive action, as soon as he's in office.
They should get Phil
because
in
the borders
to,
have been open.
you
Crime is at a rise. Drugs are coming in. He has
Trump's
to
right
act.
hand man.
This is probably his best chance to get something done, even though some people think, oh, it might backfire. It's not going to be,
Yeah, I mean,
that
Chewbacca guy really summed up DSP politics. I don't like Trump. Proceeds to praise Trump for 2 to 3 hours per week.
That's why he's doing it. But people want to always spit everything.
Because I know, Trump is the well, he's not even the president yet. He's about to be the president. But every single, nearly every single news article that isn't him showing off how he donates to charity
we just had for 4 years
is about
on his old crotchety ass.
It's about just basically defending Trump
for 4 straight years and didn't do a damn thing
about it. The
first
2 have been about defending Trump. And how many articles are there? 4?
Right, it's the meme. The dog who's sitting in the room and everything's on fire and he goes, this is fine. That's literally what we just had for 4 years. So I'd rather have some action than inaction. And at least Trump is trying to do something. And if anything, you can at least try to give him
He's
some
not in
credit
yet. He just said he's going to do this stuff.
Okay.
That's what I mean. We've started it too early, but too late at the same time.
That was our second topic of the night, and at this point now,
if you're going to do it this way, wait until Trump's in office.
Right?
And
We've been talking about
if
Trump
you were
pretty much
smart, you do it
nonstop.
before the election.
So I feel like we should change the subject and move on to something else, so it's not just Trump, Trump, Trump all night. In fact, that's probably the last time that we'll be mentioning Donald Trump.
Oh my God.
FYI. So we got that out of the way. Thanks to everyone
here.
Talk
about
I appreciate you all.
Celebrities
to be quite
or something?
honest,
I don't know.
I think that our attendance tonight is probably the average attendance we will have moving forward. I was shocked that we had such high attendance on
it must be bad if he's not talking about it.
I think that it was a bunch of botting and bullshit, like trolls were trying to mess around. I think that tonight this is more reasonable. I always told you guys, I thought we would probably get around 200 people for this show on Kit. I am happy with this size audience.
Because Dark Side Pim's fucking fun. Like, he's basically...
But I would ask that if
he's
you
basically
are
bankrolling this
enjoying
entire
Dspolitics, if you could support it. This is a regular stream for me. The streak must continue, right?
Must.
We are at a very whoppingly positive 89 straight streams of hitting the goals. So,
You know what isn't
if you
whoppingly
like
positive?
this content, if you like the fact that I'm
$35.
branching out and doing different kinds of content, please support it. A sub, gifted subs to your fellow viewer, or tips. Right
Your
now,
fellow
we have
viewer,
no
like they're in the
tips.
trenches
We do
together.
Have, well, I take that back. We have the one tip from Mars Inhabitant. We do have several gifted subs from Darkside Pimp, but it would be great to have a few more people to contribute rather than just 2. Okay? So if you like the content,
he's never
please
happy.
support it.
If he's
Let's
getting
hit the
enough
goal. Thank
subs,
you guys
he
very,
has to
very
get them from
much.
different people.
Okay.
If he's
Let's
getting
take a
enough
look.
subs from different people, he needs to get more tips.
At the,
If he's getting enough tips,
we
he
should
needs more
definitely
fucking,
talk
I don't know,
about this one,
YouTube
actually,
likes or
because
some shit.
these are good transitions, actually. Wow.
Hello, Phil? Pull something up?
Okay.
Do something?
This is a good one. Oh, let's see here.
He doesn't talk to his chat at all.
No, I'm not worried that people won't tip based on my political opinions because, as I've said many times, this show is isolated.
It's always about
separate
money.
from my
It's always
other
about
content.
money
If you
and
haven't
tips
noticed, I don't talk about
and
politics in my
subs
other
and
content.
gifted
That's
subs.
for a good reason.
It's all so
right?
tiresome.
I don't want it to bleed over there, and it's not going to. You know, I would hope that people who watch this content are intelligent enough to know that if you don't agree with the opinions, that's fine. In
Look
fact,
how
I
fucking
welcome
crazy his eyes are,
people
man.
who have opposing opinions. I really do, because by hearing opposing opinions, you get a more full picture of how things are, rather than just
always looks
only
like
hearing
scared,
the
like a
one
prey
thing from
animal.
the one side, and then you get into this tunnel vision situation. All right, I respect people who disagree with me. I really do. If you take a look at the highlights of this show over on DSP Reacts, a lot of the comments are against what I'm saying, and that's fine.
Yeah, because
okay?
you're retarded.
Darkside Pimp, thank you for another gifted sub. This one went to Morshoot. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Well, here's the thing.
Even people
So
who
Kyle
agree with
says, "I think
Phil
that this
end up
show wasn't
disagreeing
hyped
with him
enough
because
this
he's
week."
so
Well,
strange
number
about
one,
his opinions.
This is the third show. This is not the first or second. It's now becoming a regular thing, so it's not going to be as hyped. What can I do? People know what the show is now.
It's
Know what to
boring. People have
expect,
realized
right?
it's terrible,
I can't
and they've all
hype up every
bounced.
topic because sometimes I don't have the topics ready until a few days ahead. Look at these articles. Some of these articles were written 2-3 days ago. So I didn't have the topics until just a couple days ago. It's hard for me to be ultra hype
This is
about it
groundbreaking,
until I
man.
know. Now, also this week was American Thanksgiving. That threw our schedule off, so I wasn't able to do it on the Thursday night. It's a different time now. My streams are earlier. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
So,
missed the
a lot of
election
factors
season.
here.
Well, you can't
There's not
complain
much I
about
can
no
really do.
hype. You've
I did
missed the
mention
only
it all
hype
week
thing
my
in
content. I
politics.
told everyone to come by tonight. I know that we have a much smaller audience tonight than we've had, but again, I actually suspect botting is a big deal. Like, people were coming by and botting the streams to try to say,
Okay,
"Oh, look
so you
how
never had
many
any
viewers
views.
Phil
That's not
has."
the flex you
And
think
to
it
try to
is.
get me in trouble or something. So
The detractors were
it is what
botting
it
me
is.
for
But
reasons.
I'm enjoying myself. You know, I'm okay with the audience of a few hundred. That's fine with me. And let's keep it rolling.
Stop bringing it
shall we?
up.
Hopefully,
No.
like I said, let's keep the support
200
going. Let's hit
people
the
is an
goals
insane
tonight,
amount
all
of
right?
people, if you
All
really
right,
think
time
about
for a
it.
transition. This is an
I'm
interesting
surprised
one.
3 people are watching
right?
this. It's
Here we
so
go.
boring.
So, we were just talking about
Oh, yeah, he's
Prime
not doing his
Minister
intro
Justin
thing
Trudeau
anymore.
over in
That's a
Canada.
good point by his
Well,
chat.
this week a lot happened with
He used to have like the
I
whole
said, the
intro every
tariffs
single time.
threatened, and he went crazy and had this emergency meeting with his panel about it and everything there. But some other stuff happened in Canada this week. I don't know if you heard. Yeah, there was a major riot. And it wasn't just like, oh,
Okay.
an isolated thing. Basically, a giant mob of people were absolutely destroying the city.
Why are we talking
Okay.
about like Canada when you can't even get anything done? Like you can't even accurately represent
where are they
America.
going to say where the city is?
Oh my god!
What a crappy article this is.
You didn't do any research.
Montreal,
You
here
just
it is. I'm
opened
trying
it.
to
You just
find it.
opened an
He was in
article.
Toronto at an Eras
Yeah,
concert
who knows, by the way? Crazy.
for Taylor Swift. Okay, and I guess he was there with his daughters. So here he is. I think his family members or whatever
I
are
was
with
making
him.
fun of you. Who knows?
And he's there at this Eras concert. Meanwhile, on the other side of his country, this is happening, and basically,
What's he supposed to do? Go
he
and
was there
fight them
dancing
himself?
and doing it, and he like he didn't even know. He was like clueless. Okay, what happened was at 6:10 p.m. protesters lit a mannequin on fire in the middle of
This
the
is
crowd
so
and began
funny.
marching
This
together,
may
throwing
be my
objects,
favorite
including
kind of
smoke
DSP
bombs
stream.
and metal barriers into the street to obstruct police work. Here's a quick look at it. Ready?
Oh, I'm gonna open Twitter. In a tiny window, you got to really squint.
Looks like a riot.
Looks like people walking, and that's about it, actually. There's no breaking windows or anything. Oh, someone's breaking something. There you go. That's a proper riot. That guy's really carrying this whole thing. Look at him go. Everyone else is just like walking and stuff.
What always gets me is when you see this footage, you always got the guy who has a camera because he wants to document it, but he somehow gets right into the middle of it, and then he's like, oh, he gets hurt. It's like, dude, you just stand away, you idiot. Why did you walk like right into where they were doing shit? You get the perfect shot. That guy like there's like, oh, yeah, you moron. I understand you got to document it. People have to document it for news and for history, but you could like stand back a little bit. Anyway, so that's going on in Montreal. Meanwhile, here's Toronto.
Justin Trudeau should have went down and personally fought every single rioter. He should have, like, John Wick, like, executed them all.
Now, I could give you my opinion on people who are Swifties. But I think that could be a whole episode.
Guys, people who like Taylor Swift are dumb.
Okay, in a nutshell.
Good job, Phil. No one's ever made that.
If you want to try to encompass some of the most vapid, meaningless music ever created.
Oh my god, who gives a shit? You listen to like fucking
Taylor Swift.
What do you say, African like tribal music?
So the fact that you have the Prime Minister of Canada who's decided to attend a Taylor Swift concert.
What did he and Kat listen to? They listen to like bongos and shit, didn't they?
Kind of the subject matter at hand here. All right. But then on top of that,
who cares? They're like dumb white women. They're like low IQ.
Like, these are
like,
pretty
like
much
people who
celebrity
worship are low IQ. What more do we need?
So, Canadians flooded social media with their reactions. Some were playfully embracing his Swiftie era. Others slammed his carefree concert outing as riots were erupting over in Montreal. The leader of Canada's Conservative Party, FYI, that's the anti-Trudeau party, because Trudeau is liberal. This is the conservative side. Basically said, Trudeau fiddles while Montreal burns. Here it is. Here's his video of him dancing, and he put, while Trudeau danced. So here it is. Justin Trudeau refuses to condemn anti-Semitic riots in Montreal. He has time to dance and do selfies.
He like bring up like what happened, but not why they happened.
Of our streets, it's not worth.
Like, he won't look into the riots and like what was behind them and stuff. And if they are anti-Semitic, social media
were happy. Oh, look, Trudeau's partying with us.
Just
look at
like
this. He's a cool dude.
Look at this guy, Trudeau. Like he makes
Canada
like
is lost.
He makes it like civilization, like where all the entire country is represented by like a little character.
So,
you click on Canada and Justin Trudeau pops up.
The city is burning, and like Roman Emperor Nero, PM Trudeau is partying, jotted down another X user. Pro-Palestine mobs in Montreal, Canada last night, rioting and destroying shops and clashes with police.
Has he brought up Israel
and
Palestine?
Repeating itself. The city's burning, and like Roman Emperor Nero, Trudeau is partying. Shall we watch just a tiny bit more?
But that same guy. That guy's the GOAT. Hammer Man.
And what you don't know is that actually there are pets trapped inside the building, and no window was left open, so there's no crack of fresh air. So they're just trying to burst the door open to save those very endangered pets inside. That's what's going on here.
Cars, not for buildings. What? You have to leave a window open for animals in a building.
Truly heroic actions. Oh, Montreal, right? I mean, any moment a flood of dogs.
There's like Kuma gets in the chat.
Anyway,
so
here's the deal. Basically, people are split on this. Okay, some people are like, well, this is complete irresponsibility by Trudeau.
Actually, don't give your opinion. It's
be
fucking
out
awful.
Dancing, listening to Taylor Swift instead of running the country, right? Others are like, this is just a dad enjoying a night out with his daughter.
Like, realistically, what do you want to do? Like, get in the, riot shield and, like, baton in hand and start fighting them off.
Rioters in Montreal, this ex-user thinks so. Like all Canadians, I'm disappointed Justin Trudeau didn't leave the Taylor Swift concert, fly to Montreal, and deliver Lord Humongous Just Walk Away speech from Max Max 2. There you go.
Did you say Max Max 2?
So, basically, that's what happened. Now, I mean, obviously, it's a politics show. It's my show.
Yeah.
What's my opinion? What the fuck? What the fuck is that? What? What the hell? I don't even want to know. What? Why was that on Yahoo?
The more interesting stream would have clicked on that, because I want to know what that is too.
Okay, the whole show just got derailed. What
No,
the
it didn't.
fuck
You
was that?
derailed it.
A targeted ad? Oh, you missed the target on that one. Maybe that one was for Destiny or something. But anyway, okay, maybe they just assume.
Like, I don't like Destiny, but I wouldn't be, taking shots at him when I was DSP. He's an easy target, but like,
anyway,
when you're DSP.
All right, let's get back on subject. We gotta calm down. All right, everyone, calm down here. Everyone, rein it in. Obviously, you want my take on
this. That was like a crazy, funny moment for DSP.
Right?
Seeing an ad and like
I'll be honest
stopping the stream for 2 minutes.
I understand that our political leaders around the world are humans just like you and me. And I do feel that our political leaders do have the right to have a night off. I don't know if this actually was like a scheduled night off or not for him. I have no idea.
What do you mean a scheduled night off? He didn't let his schedule for Twitter?
If he's there and he's spending time with his daughter, I mean, it actually...
What do you mean a scheduled night off? He booked tickets? I'm sure it was.
Just like all of us. Like, he's like, dude, I got to go to a Taylor Swift concert. I mean, first of all, if his daughter's into Taylor Swift, I'm very sorry for him. I mean, that, that's awful.
This is
basically means she's a lost cause, and, But the fact that he took her to the concert or whatever, it's kind of nice. I'm sure he got her VIP seats because he's the prime minister and stuff like that.
I can't even.
He deserves to have a night out.
Funny anymore.
Totally. But my question then is thus: why are there riots taking place in your country? It's obvious that, according to what they're saying, this has been something. The table's been set that basically Trudeau has been incredibly weak on these people who are doing this stuff. That he's not,
this is so vague.
Considering it crimes, he's, these are peaceful protests.
Okay, so what do you want to do? Just shut down every single riot?
Then you have to shut it down. But to some extent, you have to have control over the country, or else you're not really a leader, are you?
He just wants to shut down riots.
The real debate here is should the riots have happened to begin with? How does that kind of a thing build up, and no one was aware that it was going to happen? That many people are gathering or whatever. Obviously, there should be something in place. And apparently, from what I'm to understand, again, I'm new to covering politics. This is not the first time. This has happened.
The riots happened
a few times now in recent memory, where a big riot has broken out, and it has to do with the Middle East conflict. And Trudeau's just kind of like doesn't do anything about it.
This guy, he's so afraid of talking about Israel-Palestine.
Naughty.
Because people are getting in trouble with it.
But then he doesn't actually take any action. All right? At this point, words don't really mean anything. Words can only go so far. At one point, as a leader, you have to take action. So I think that's the reason that people are so upset. Not that the guy took a night off to spend with his daughter, and it just had to be the worst timing ever because he's at this really vapid, empty-headed concert on one side of
such like a 5-year-old take. It's like when people like used to hate on Justin Bieber in like
of his country is burning on the other side, right?
It's just like, okay.
It's that the fact that the situation
such like it's such an easy target
again and again and again, and this guy hasn't done anything about it. He says stop it, but doesn't take action, right? Listen,
but they're not happening all the time
in Seattle, Washington,
Canada.
For those who don't know, it's one of the most crime-infested parts of our country right now.
It was like a protest, right? I mean, it looked like there was one guy
have been
smashing stuff.
Insanely lax on crime. They've actually made it so that you have to steal thousands of dollars of product out of a store.
Okay, we're just making this about him.
And have it stick. I'm not kidding you. Right now, you could walk into a store.
Here's an article about Canada.
Walk out the
anyway,
door,
in Seattle,
the cop at the door will just say stop, take the stuff back, and let you go. I'm not kidding you. That's how it is here.
This is his 2 points. His 2 points are like, I was harassed online, and Seattle is
entire stores have shut down. Businesses keep getting destroyed time after time after time. When you have a rule in place, but you don't enforce it, it's not a rule. So it doesn't matter what Justin Trudeau says. What matters is what actually happens. The enforcement.
But how do you know? Do you know what like the laws are for this kind of stuff? He could have a million laws
against rioting, but unless he actually starts enforcing them, unless he actually has a task force cracking down on it to stop it, it will continue. And then, with the sad fact
that's just
it could happen at a time when he's not ready to even deal with it.
Like
he's at a night out,
riots
and then he looks like a complete
expressions
jackass. You're a world leader. It's time to start acting like it. right? I don't care if you have a daughter who likes
the
Taylor
government.
Swift.
Let's just shut that all down.
Because the truth is, here's
that's not dystopian at all.
If that riot broke out and immediately a team that was dealt or trained,
that's horrifying. DSP's views are dystopian, man.
Swept in and took all those people and slammed them on the pavement and arrested all of them.
What?
And rushed them right off the prison.
He wants people arrested for like protests. I mean, obviously they
was dancing at the Taylor Swift concert.
That's actually dystopian.
So why isn't that in place? Oh, because he's liberal. And so, because he's liberal, that just means
okay. So if it was okay.
Oh.
So if
harsh words,
if they were
no action,
protesting like
leadership.
Trudeau himself,
strong, harsh criticism.
and they were smashing things, would DSP have the same take? Because I don't think he would.
In our cultural philosophy and our government in this last election here in the United States, if Justin Trudeau is not careful,
I wonder what he thinks about the trucker protests.
Might be the next wave of change that's going to sweep these people right the hell out of power in Canada, and it's going to be his fault because he has the opportunity to do something now and be proactive, but instead he's not. So, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. People learn from experience. If he doesn't act now in this situation, he is going to find himself voted out of power, and that's going to be the end of this liberal control over Canada, just like it just ended here in the United States.
But
okay.
Canada
right,
and America aren't the same place.
Thank you for watching. We're now at the halfway point of the show.
From what I gather, Canada's a lot more like the UK than it is.
First of all,
the same issues.
Thank you to Darkside Pimp who gifted a sub, and I believe it was Busty Phil who gifted a sub. So there's 2 more subs that were gifted here tonight. Darkside Pimp is now up to 7. That's another $10 in support, which means we're a third of the way to our goal. And again, guys, if you like the political stuff, please support it either with a sub, a gifted sub, or a tip.
DSP's take was that Justin Trudeau should have a special task force of hitmen to murder all the protesters and run them over with trucks.
A $2 tip.
So
are you going to trust the invasion of Syria
Swift
by rebels that's happening right now? No, because I'm not psychic and I don't have omnipotent powers that can cover something that's literally happening right now. What I will do is over the course of the next week, I will take a look
come on,
at
give it a few months, then you can give the safe take.
Want to talk about it next week? We can, but if it's happening now, how could I possibly be covering it?
You could like put the news up as well.
Am I on the ground right now in Syria to cover this?
I hope you're on the ground.
Maybe you're greatly
hanging off a rope.
over anticipating the power of Dspolitics. I'm sorry, I don't have a crack team of reporters on the other side of the globe.
Get Jade, he could wheel around the war zone.
I'm sorry. Okay, anyway. All right, so let's take a brief break. I'm going to split the part here. And I'm just going to stretch
all these political people just put like CNN and react.
Then we're going to continue on with the second half of our show.
Right, I need to
don't worry,
a good time.
we still have many topics to cover on tonight's show.
I don't give a shit. Right, I'm going to go. I'm going to go to the loo. This because he'll be disappeared for ages.
We have 2 more major topics, and then we're going to have some speed topics, and then we're going to get to our conclusion of the show tonight. It should be pretty good.
Boy, the lighting's so like...
Thank you guys. Put the part here.
Shifting so quick. We're back right. He's gone.
Did I just get terrible. 2 more?
His set is awful, by the way. It's so ugly.
I just got... Darkside Pimp just gifted another one. And it went to...
What's that saying in the background?
Dio, and then, yes, Busty Phil gifted one. So 2 more gifted subs. Thank you very much, you guys. So thank you, Darkside Pimp.
And... O-E-L, no,
and to
what?
Busty Phil, so we're
Am I fucking stupid?
Tonight in climbing, which is good. Thank you guys for the momentum. I appreciate that.
It's like a snowflake, but it's like an O.
Email here.
E-L.
What this is.
Hang on, what the fuck does that...
I see what it is. It's an update. Remember I told you guys, well, I don't know if you watched the podcast today.
It's French for Merry Christmas. It comes from...
because I haven't been, I didn't get to update it
It's
yet,
the French way of saying Merry Christmas. What a wanker.
A viewer has donated a 4 terabyte SSD for my new capture streaming computer. They said they wanted me to
I'm sure.
Big storage space so I can record.
I'm sure that, they donated me a new house as well and a car.
So that's coming. I just got the update email that it's shipped and it's coming next week.
So, come on, no one believes this. Just say you bought it.
Again, guys, the overwhelming support continues. And I really, really, really appreciate the support you guys have been giving me. It's incredible, the level of support that I'm receiving on a daily basis. And I really, I'm very, very grateful for you guys.
mysterious
McCauley's in
gifter just
downtown
donated
Seattle
me
still dangerous? Yes.
more DoorDash. I guess I'll have to eat it.
The mayor of Seattle has been trying a bunch of initiatives. That was one of the things we talked about last week, that he's trying a bunch of initiatives to try to stop the crime down there. Some of it's working, some of it isn't, but at least it's something. He's trying something.
Okay, so why did you go on a rant about it?
Because a lot of people's hands are tied. There's not much you can really do.
I thought he was like evil or something a minute ago.
Because the laws. The problem is they changed all the laws to make it so lax that criminals can't get prosecuted for these actions. And that's why they're getting away with them, quite frankly. So I forgot to change the color. Darn. I know it was nice Christmas colors at the bottom, but I actually wanted to have blue and red, so it'd be like red, white, and blue. I screwed that up, and now I fixed it for the second half. Let's see. Darkside Pimp says,
he's so obsessed with his fancy little lights that look like shit. I know. Look, his room's gone green.
So anything that we export to their country, they end up hitting us with big tariffs. But now when we decide to say...
There's too many colors. There's red, there's fucking Pac-Man, he's yellow, there's Philomania, there's blue and white in the background, there's fucking golden little tinsel shit.
And blow my nose quickly, and then we will do the second half of the show.
Right, okay, I'm going for a piss. I'll be back in a sec. I'm not even gonna leave it up because it's awful. I'm gonna give you a break from DSP. It's some nice, relaxing jazz. Very kind of Christmassy almost, but it's not. What do I have to do? Okay, I'll be back in a sec. I returned, but I hope he's back, or maybe didn't leave. I don't know.
Have I ever gone to a protest? I did. I attended a protest, and the subject matter was that we were going to protest that we were not going to protest. So we all got up and we said, we're not going to protest. We're not going to protest.
He can't give an actual serious take on anything.
Protesting, X'd out. We're not going to protest.
Just say you don't stand for anything and be done with it.
Wait, that was a movie. That was PCU. That was a great movie. I recommend everyone go see PCU. It's an absolutely great movie if you haven't seen it yet. Okay.
What a funny bit.
Okay.
That we wasted time on that.
All right.
They're not even funny jokes. Like, no one's even laughing. That's the problem. I can't...
That's right. PCU
like, Jade's not even
foretold
giggling.
The future. You should see that. You should see PCU right now. It foretells all of this crap that's going on right now. It really does.
What is all this crap? He's so vague with everything.
Just keep in mind, if you see PCU, it was meant to be a comedy. It wasn't meant to be serious. But now the movie's serious.
It's not serious. It's called... It'll be satire. It's not serious.
Okay. Ready?
It's not suddenly become a drama.
Let's get to the second half. By the way, I forgot all the transitional animations. Son of a bitch. I'll use them right now. I totally forgot I had them. Sorry about that. Where are they? Here they are. Okay, cool. All right. We are back, everyone. The second half of Dspolitics for November 29, 2024. I hope that everyone is enjoying the show so far. Thanks to everyone hanging out with me live here on Kick, the exclusive home of this show. And for those watching possibly on demand in a clip, although I doubt I'll clip this part, so you probably will never see me say that on demand. There you go. So let's head into our second half of the night, shall we?
Want to have the intro again?
Ladies and gentlemen, here's our next topic.
Yes. Why didn't you do that before? Please forget. This is so ass, by the way. This is like one of those what are they called? There's a website where you can make all these like really generic, you know, like when you were like 12 and you watched like Minecraft videos.
Something happened this week that
and
no
every
one was
intro had like metal spinning text.
A long-running car
There's
maker
websites that do that.
who is known for a certain product line and a certain advertising
line.
not the
Jaguar shit.
They're synonymous with greatness, basically. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, I've never seen anyone who owns a Jaguar.
Relaunch and new philosophy. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to take a look at it together.
It's not even a rebranding, is it? It's just like a weird ad.
I will show you now the new face of Jaguar automobiles.
We get it. It's a bad advert. We've all seen this.
Here it comes.
But this isn't even politics. This is a fucking car. Black people? They're political. Sorry. Sorry, libtards. That's political right there. Look at this politics. Look at this. This is basically up there with like tariffs and stuff. You just say you hate like zesty dudes and black dudes and be done with it.
That was not a parody video.
Okay, but what's this politics? I don't...
That was real. Jaguar released.
This is what I hate about Phil. We obviously all know it's politics, but yes, like...
So if you just
like hint at things, you can't just be straight about things.
You might have, all right? Your first question might be, what the hell did that have to do with cars? Jaguar is an automobile company. What did we just watch? What we did watch was 30 seconds of people who attempted to basically...
But everyone knows what a Jaguar is.
Take a look. They're all over different races,
my cat's wanting
different
really
creeds, different genders.
Give me a second.
Perhaps some of them are not even defined by one gender. I wouldn't know. I actually don't care to know. One of them, for some reason, has a chunk of hair missing out of their head. I don't know if they were, they were trying to clean the lawnmower and they bent over a little too far or something. I don't know. I don't even know what this is. I don't think I want to know what this is. It's maybe too much information for me. But yeah, it's pretty obvious that they were really going for something different here.
Again, how is this politics?
Probably what a lot of people would be looking for
a lady
in an automobile company ad. Brake molds. Okay, now, maybe I'm just a little bit ignorant. Maybe I'm not the most informed guy on marketing.
We're doing this for 20 minutes,
I've never run a marketing campaign before. Maybe I have a very cursory knowledge. I did take a course or two about it when I was in university, many, many moons ago. But call me crazy. I thought that when you're trying to advertise a product,
you show the product.
The advertisement should actually address the product.
Right, everyone knows what Jaguar
show
is.
It, or at least discuss it in some way. Like, for example, if you're trying to sell a candy bar, you wouldn't have an entire ad of someone firing a rifle.
That would be fucking ace.
And that's it. That's the ad. Never show the candy bar. Never discuss the candy bar. But that's apparently what they're going for. Like, they really wanted to go as crazy as possible in a very bizarre direction. And, of course, the internet is abuzz with this. The world is abuzz with this. Because, again, Jaguar is a very long-running brand of automobiles. And the fact that this is what they came out with has people scratching their heads in various different ways, okay? What I like to do is tackle this from two different angles, all right? From one angle, which is the angle that I think the vast majority of humans on this planet would take it from.
No way.
Is an angle of confusion, an angle
Okay, let's just go on Twitter. Okay, yeah, why not?
Just quandary, like, what just happened? What did we just watch? What is going on? It's almost like it's extreme. There's a difference between, like,
100
We
years
want to
of
go in a different
heritage.
direction.
It's like vaguely racist.
We want to be more
stuff, I guess.
inclusive. You know, all these DEI initiatives and things that have been in companies now for the last 5 to 10 years, and we're seeing increasingly more in the corporate world. This is kind of like, we're literally going as extreme as possible to elicit a reaction from the world.
What?
We know what we're doing is going to get this reaction, and that's exactly why we're doing it. Okay? What I like to do, this person here did
it's like a weird ad. I mean, like, there's plenty of ads for things that don't really fit.
Basically says, Jaguar made the most expensive mistake of 2024. They spent millions on a rebrand that erased 100 years of heritage. So,
how fucking overdramatic.
The
It
company
erased
started
100
in
years of heritage.
1922.
All Jaguar
but made
cars
their
have
first car
exploded
in
because they made an advert.
1935. You can see. They tried to basically make their cars the epitome of excellence. One was known as the most beautiful car. One was known as the fastest car.
This guy
One was
is
known
such
as
a
a
fucking
modern
hack.
masterpiece. And each car was a piece of art until 2021. In 2021, the automotive industry faced a crisis. Tesla began to dominate all luxury electric vehicles.
Look how hideous Tesla
Rising
is on
environmental concerns made it that a lot of
If you
people
own
were
a
saying,
Tesla, I'll
we gotta
think
shift
less
to
of you.
electric. We can't have
Hideous.
fossil fuel cars anymore.
Also,
And
aren't they like
emissions
insanely
regulations
dangerous? I know the Cybertrucks are. They're
worldwide,
like
and again,
all the locks
the
and
threat
shit
that
don't
these
work if
fossil
the
fuel
car
cars
crashes.
are going to be
All the
regulated to
doors
the
and
point where they're
everything.
just not viable anymore. The Jaguar said they were going to adapt. Their solution was radical. They paused all car sales in the UK and
What's this
announced
got to do with
going
the
all
advert?
electric by 2025. On November 19, 2024, they revealed their new identity, and no one expected what came next. Instead of showcasing engineering prowess, they launched a 30-second video
Thank you,
featuring
Hosen
models in
Chung,
vibrant futuristic outfits
for
and
your part in
alien-like
DSP
landscapes.
politics. I hope you
There's
get your
not a
share
single
of the
car in
tips.
sight. Their new logo is Jaguar, emphasizing the British pronunciation Jag-U-R.
What?
Get it? It's not Jaguar or Jaguar, it's Jag-U-R.
What?
Get it? You
No.
are something.
I don't
Their new
know.
slogan, delete ordinary, break molds, copy nothing, live vivid.
Okay, it's just
Even their
generic
iconic
marketing
leaping
bullshit.
Jaguar is reimagined. The backlash is instant and brutal. Over 90 million views in days resulted in thousands of memes and endless
Yeah, everyone
mockery.
just thought it was shit.
And
I
Elon
don't
Musk
know.
chimed in, do you even sell cars?
Oh, wow.
Criticism went deeper
Elon
than
Musk.
jokes. It wasn't just about going electric. Tesla proved you can make electric cars sexy. This is about erasing a century of heritage.
Tesla's a
But
fucking
here's what makes the
hideous. This
rebrand
dude, I've
fascinating.
already lost every...
Jaguar isn't
This
just
guy's got
changing
no
their
room
logo,
to
they're
stop
deliberately
anything now. He said
abandoning
Teslas are
90%
cool.
of their current customers. Why would a luxury brand do this? Here was
It's
the
just
original,
shitty
here was
modern
one
branding.
of their rebrands.
Why
Here's
is
what they're
it such
doing
a-
here, look. So, they want to move into ultra luxury cars that cost over $127,000 US dollars.
Aren't all
Target a
Jaguars,
younger,
like,
wealthier buyer,
insanely expensive?
transform into an artistic brand, and compete directly with Tesla. But they made a crucial mistake. They confused bold with alienating. You can target new customers without rejecting your heritage.
Heritage.
You can be
It's a
modern
fucking
without
car
being
company. Stop being so
unrecognizable.
dramatic.
You can innovate without losing your soul. The numbers tell the story. Jaguar sales already dropped 50% since
Okay, so the
COVID
ad's not
hit,
gonna
and
do
now
any more
they're
damage.
betting everything on an attractive new generation of buyers. In trying to appeal to everyone, they're resonating with no one. Time will tell how the rebrand goes. As you can see, I mean, look,
Say,
their
I wish you
sales
just say
are
what
down,
you think,
down,
because it's obvious
down,
what you
down,
think.
down into the depths.
I don't
They were
really
making
care
at
about
one point
what,
between
like,
10 and 15,000,
I'm not one of those people that like,
and now they're
oh, you just
below
hate it because you're
5,000.
racist, or you hate it
So
because you
they
don't like this
are
kind of
tanking.
person. But it's so obvious you looked at it and went,
So,
I don't like these the
what this
people in the
person is
advert.
essentially saying is people trust brands for various reasons. A person, a fact about that brand. There's always something that
A
ties
person.
something critical to a brand. Jaguar had that, and they literally
what was
just
it?
threw it away. So even
What
though
was
they're
the
still
thing?
called Jaguar, they don't have a brand anymore. They literally, in
What?
30 seconds, they obliterated their brand, and now people have
It's
no
still called
idea
Jaguar.
what
It's not
the
called
car
like
is.
fucking. I
Like,
don't know,
we don't know what the
Funk or
new
something.
car will be when they show it.
It's called
okay?
Jaguar, and
I
everyone
think
knows what a
what's gonna
Jaguar
happen is they're going to announce this new vehicle in early next year and show it off. And of course, now people are wondering what the hell it's going to be. So this guy is under the impression they have
Dude, when this-
destroyed
when
their
Phil
brand, and
dumps
through
the
$1 million
thing
spent on
moniker,
marketing
he
here.
destroyed his brand.
they're
Thank God he
dumb.
went back on it.
However, there is an opposing view.
Oh, I was
Okay.
just reading off two articles.
So this person who writes for Forbes basically says, at first they were dubious, but now not anymore. Why? Well, it's very simple. I'm not going to read the entire article.
Okay.
But basically, Jaguar
let's just make things up at this
is
point.
going to present an insanely different vehicle very shortly. Whatever they're going to present, apparently, is not going to be anything close to what they used to do.
Okay, isn't that what we literally just went over?
And so, they actually felt like they didn't have a chance because they're known for this particular kind of car. And if they're going to now present a whole new kind,
what does
the
Yahoo
only
say about
way
this, Phil?
to be successful
This
would
chat
be
is so funny on
to
Gig.
burn it down. And so this
They're all
was
just
a
making fun of it.
calculated risk that putting out this ad was going to essentially destroy their reputation on purpose so people would at least talk about them again.
Well,
Because right now, as you saw, their sales are plummeting. They're selling less than 1/3 of what they were selling just a few years ago.
I mean,
They're
ironically,
basically gone. So the only way to get people talking about them would be to cause controversy. Okay?
What is the
I
controversy?
remember, now
The
you
ad
guys
was
are going to
bad.
laugh at this. I remember many years ago, someone who was big into pro wrestling back in the day, his name's Eric Bischoff. Okay? At one point, this guy was the big wig behind WCW, World Championship Wrestling.
He wasn't big into
and he wrote a
it.
book, and the name of the book was Controversy Creates Cash.
Everything is wrestling.
As long as you are pertinent for any reason, even if it has to be controversial, you'll still have people
it's not
talking about you.
controversial. It's
You'll
just
still have
shite.
people
I don't know why. It's not like
to
it's
know
like
about you, and you'll still have people spending
Jaguar
money on
killed
you.
the 1% or
Doesn't
something.
matter if you're the
It's
best.
just a bad advert.
Doesn't matter if you're the worst. You just want to be in the conversation. Jaguar considered themselves out of the conversation, and so they think that releasing this 30-second burn it down all hyper liberal 100% progressive break
What is
the mold
progressive
ad,
and it's just like a
men
weird
looking
advert.
like
We've
women,
had
women
those for
looking like men,
decades.
big chunks of hair out of their heads.
You've seen like
weirdo
perfume
stuff.
ads and shit.
They think that this is
This
going
is so
to get people
fucking
talking
strange.
about them, so that people will now buy their cars. Okay? Now, this very well may be true.
This
Right
is hyper-liberal.
now, everyone is talking about Jaguar.
This is what all the
Now,
libtards
for
look
good
like.
reason.
All
People are just
the
wondering
iconic
what the heck
yellow
is next
sledgehammer
after
of
that.
the
Like, how
libtards.
do you top that? Because that's wild. And now they're going to show off their car within a few days. I think they said it was December 2nd.
Yeah.
So within the next
this.
week, we are going to see
Oh, okay.
what the new car looks like. All right? I mean, if you're basing it off of what we just saw,
Yeah.
I mean, this car very well might not have 4 wheels. Maybe it has 17 wheels, 2 giant rods sticking out the top that spin
No, it
like
doesn't
this,
sound like that. It's
catching
Paramount, man.
objects out of the sky. Maybe it doesn't have a doors. Maybe you just
Doesn't have
you
a
jump
doors.
through a hole in the side. It sucks you inside. You know what I'm saying? Like, from what their ad said, it doesn't even sound like they're going to be selling like a normal car. Exactly. I cured it with my brain. Said the Homer Simpson car. Do you remember on The Simpsons? A very old episode. Homer Simpson was allowed to
like
design a car, and he designed
isn't it? Or
the
two-
most
2 or 3.
insanely crazy, over-the-top, outlandish
watching
car
that
that no
not
one
too
would
long
ever buy. But that's the joke, right? So maybe that's what they're going for. I don't know. I'll tell
like
you
how
this.
ironically it's
If
worked
they
because
release
people
a
are
car
talking about it now.
and it looks exactly the same as all the other cars out there, people are going to be like, why did you do this? Why
Because
did
it
you bother?
got attention
Right?
on the
Now,
new
here's the
car.
thing, folks, about the whole Jaguar situation and this wild strategy.
I thought the ad was
Alright?
shit, but the more
Here's my
DSP talks
honest
about it, the
opinion.
less I agree with him.
Because you might be shocked.
He's actually convinced me into this was actually an incredible ad.
I actually believe that this strategy
I love when he makes the camera
is a
big.
good one that works.
Look at his fucking face.
Just not right now.
What?
This strategy probably would have worked a year ago.
What difference? What, because
Or
Trump's in office?
This
I don't-
strategy might have worked if the Democrats just won the
What?
American presidential election. But they lost. And now what's
What?
happened in the
This
last
guy
few
is
weeks
fucking
since this happened,
insane.
you've seen a cultural shift. You're seeing people saying,
This guy doesn't live in
enough is
reality.
enough with this liberal stuff.
Bro, if Kamala
We don't
won,
want
this car would have.
anymore. That's why we
everyone
voted
would have been
against it,
driving the new
and that's
Jaguar.
why we got Trump in. That's why
You
the
a
Republicans
fucking
are now going
moron.
to dominate
What?
the Senate and the House of Representatives. This was the absolutely, positively worst possible time for Jaguar to
Holy fuck,
launch
this guy is
this kind of
actually just
rebranding.
genuinely retarded.
This could have worked if it happened earlier or if we had a different outcome. But you have to be the dumbest person on the planet to think that this is what's wanted right now. You just had everyone in the United States vote and say, we don't want that crazy stuff anymore. We've had enough of it.
How many people voted Kamala?
We want to go back to how things were before.
Like 47%.
That's why we voted that way.
That's still a lot of people.
So why would you launch this campaign now? You want to know the truth? I think they didn't have a choice. I think they were banking on the Democrats winning this election and saying,
this man is insane.
Now
this
America
is actually
will be
like
ultra-liberal for 4 years, and everyone will want our cars because everyone wants to be weird and eccentric and different, and this is the way to do it. Be the person with the chunk of hair missing. Be the person who dresses up with a donut around their stomach. Be the weirdo bouncing off the walls with a mallet or whatever.
Kamala Harris won. It would have been like the freak show.
And drive a Jaguar. But, sorry, that's not what happened. It's the opposite. People
This is like an all-time weird
we don't
moment
want the
for Phil.
ultra-liberal. We don't want the ultra-progressive. We want things to go back again. And they voted for it, and they won. The majority, both in the popular vote,
it's a luxury brand.
and
It's meant to be fucking shit and
all
weird
of the
and unappealing to normal people.
What's the other thing? The
meant to be for people with too much free time on their hands, like you.
I had a brain fart. So yeah, both dominated by the Republicans. This is the absolute worst possible time for them to have tried to do this. It might have worked, but the thing is, and here's why we talked about this. All right, why did the Republicans win the election? There are people who want this, by the way.
Yeah, the people who can afford
However,
it.
the people who want this are considered coastal elites.
Okay, who can
These are
afford
people who
Jaguars?
live on the coast of the United States. East
Do you
and the
think
West
like
Coast,
the average
in
guy
very
in like
pockety
Tennessee can
parts,
afford like some
entire,
like
you know,
someone in some like
northeastern
backwater
coast all the way
shithole can
up,
afford a
and
Jaguar?
the West Coast from Washington, where I live, all the way down California. And there's a lot of people who are there in big population dense areas.
Okay, so
and they want
good
the
idea.
liberal values. They want, you know, everything mixing over, and
Yeah,
they want
Jaguar
this
isn't
kind
even
of stuff.
American. I don't know what he's talking about.
And they vote, and they're powerful, and they have a lot of money. These people are
Okay.
a lot of money to spend.
That's why they did it
Again,
then.
if the Democrats had won the election, I
What
wouldn't be
the
shocked
fuck?
if there would have been a different response to this.
No.
But now we've
This guy is
seen-
fucking insane.
Oh, oops. I guess
This chat are just
there's
like,
gonna be a
what is
shift.
this?
And this is in America. We have this shift. What's going to happen? Again, I told you, in culture in the world, you see this pendulum swing back and forth.
Okay, well, that's the
America was the
pendulum.
tipping point, and now I guarantee you, we just talked about it with
Yeah,
Justin
America
Trudeau
was the
earlier.
tipping point.
You may start to see this conservative shift around
There was
the rest
no
of the globe
conservative
as well.
shift. There
You're
was
gonna
no
see
right
people saying,
wing shift
we had
in
a few
Europe or
years of
anything,
this. We had
even though there was.
8, 10 years of it. Let's go back. Go back to the other side now. So this couldn't have been the worst strategy. I mean, I can't believe they decided to go through with it. The only thing I can think of, they didn't have a choice. They actually put all their eggs in one basket. They were already desperate because they've lost so much of their sales.
To the people
they had
who
to
can
do something,
afford it. Like
and
you said,
they
these like
100% somehow got
liberal, like,
brainwashed.
you know, what is it?
That
Coastal
they thought
elites.
that the Democrats were going to have a sweeping win, and that this was going to be the beginning.
Do you think
of
it's
the
like
whole
YouTube? They put it like
progressive push
set
worldwide,
to
rather
reveal
than
as soon
a
as
full
like
conservative.
Kamala Harris won.
They gambled wrong.
They
You
could
know,
have
you
just
bet on
scrapped it and
black.
made a new ad.
Oops,
This was like
it came
probably
up
like
red. Son
a
of a
week's
bitch.
worth of effort.
And now I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, again, unless this car gets announced this week, and this is the best dang car you've ever seen in your life, I cannot imagine them selling this vehicle. I don't think, again, maybe the only people who are going to get it are those people who are the stick it to 'ems, right? Well, we hate that the Republicans won. We hate that Trump is the president. We hate that conservatives around the world are gaining power. Buy a Jaguar to stand against them.
Do you think that because Trump won, all the liberals have like
the
shot
Neil Druckmann
themselves or been
philosophy.
deported or
Man,
like
buy
all
Last of Us
become
2 to
Republicans or
stand
something?
against the bigots. Don't buy it because it's a good product. Buy it because you want to stand against those people you don't like. It could be that. It could end up being.
It didn't
that
say
the
like
car,
down
the
with
progressive
Trump,
car. And so
you know,
every person
buy our
who's
Jaguar. It was just a bunch of
ultra-liberal,
like
ultra-progressive is
vaguely like
driving a
weird,
Jaguar down the street
punty,
that
like
has
rich
17
person
wheels
stuff.
and 2 things spinning like this into the sky, grabbing things out, and you have to jump through a hole to get sucked
Don't
into
know
it.
what.
You know, the Homer Simpson car.
Like,
Maybe
how do
they'll
I even
have-
talk about this? This is genuine like schizo
I mean,
shit. He takes a big sip after that one. You thought this is a great
I'll just
segment.
say this. There's going to be a large group of people that if that's the case, they're going to know who to stay away from. You know what I'm saying?
like people
they're
who
gonna,
drive
I don't want to be
Teslas.
associated with that. That just tells me this is a person who I personally, not me, I'm not saying this is me, but I'm saying,
oh my God, this
people who are
guy can't have
ultra-conservative
a
are gonna be
take to save his life.
we want to stay away from those people, you know?
Just say you want to stay away from the fags.
Anyway,
it's simple.
I
I'm
don't
so
think
sick
that
of
this
this
is a very
dude. You
successful
say you
bid,
hate fucking,
even though
I don't
one
know,
person
you hate
from
black
Forbes thinks
people, you
it
hate
is.
gay
I think,
people.
sadly,
just say it. I don't
this
care.
is a situation that's going to backfire right in
just
their
wish he'd
face,
give his
and
opinion.
it's not going to be very pretty for them. My
Just
honest
move to
take.
fucking some
Okay?
right-wing shithole and then just spout all the shit you want.
All right.
Why are you
So,
living in a place
basically, I
that
have
hates you?
two
When you
other
have
topics
these are obviously
that I
your
absolutely
takes.
want to cover tonight, but I also have a couple quick ones, and I'm debating. I know one of them is going to take probably about 15, 20 minutes. One of them will be faster, so I think we have time.
That's what I mean. I hate it. It's all this like I have no issue with this like
as an extra
this
topic.
obvious right-wing
But I don't know if we're
takes.
gonna have enough time for all.
I probably
of these.
agree with
So,
a majority of them. Sadly,
I think maybe we'll talk about this one. This is one that I was talking about.
It's
for
the fact
a while,
he refuses to
during the
make
last,
a point. That really
presidency,
annoys
Biden's
me.
presidency, and I think this one will be pretty good to cover. We're gonna watch a lot of a video that's gonna teach us about inflation, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about it together.
About inflation.
And then I have two more stories to end the show. Okay, but in the meantime,
guys, we're gonna learn about inflation.
Again,
Can you
thank you to
spell
everyone
inflation?
who's here, who's chilling, who's enjoying the show. We have about roughly
Google
40 minutes
inflation and
left.
see what it's
Roughly.
about.
Guys, if you like the show, please support it. We currently are at $62 out of our 150 goal, and obviously we want to keep the streak alive and keep it rolling.
This might be my favorite DSP though. He's genuinely like schizophrenic.
So if you could support the stream tonight in some way, please do.
The liberals lost. Get out of here, Jaguar.
Or gifted sub here on Kick, whether it be a tip, which you don't have to do through
and now
Kick.
he's
You can
begging
actually
again.
do that by looking at the description of this stream or going to the About tab.
62 bucks.
Either way there, you can actually send a tip, okay?
Imagine giving
again,
someone $150 for this, like actual schizo
I will
babble.
go ahead and shout out any contributions or anything that you guys contribute for tonight, all right? By the way, for the record, because some people outright say,
talk directly
well, I want to
to,
watch your show, but I don't want to be like having a Kick account. You could interact with me by tipping. That's what some people do. They tip a couple bucks and they say something. I read it out and I respond.
Guys, instead of making a tip account, send me real life money.
A Kick account, okay? Sound good?
Oh my god, this guy. What?
Ooh, excuse me. All right, we ready to continue?
This is my favorite film.
DSP
Politics film.
All right, so everyone, there has been a hot topic recently, okay? And the hot topic is this.
It can't get better than that.
Why is it that if the mainstream media in the United States seems to be reporting that inflation is going down, that it seems like a lot of Americans are saying, well, I don't get how inflation is going down, because I certainly haven't noticed that prices are going down. I mean, I go and I shop, and the prices at the grocery store are just as expensive as they were a year or two ago.
The price,
in some cases, it seems like prices have gone
price
up.
of
I'm not saving at the pump
food
when
and
I go to
groceries
get gas.
don't fluctuate daily by the rate of
Nothing's going
inflation.
down. So why is it that inflation keeps getting reported as, oh, it's decreasing, don't worry.
It doesn't decrease, it slows down. That's the inflation rate.
Fascinating video on YouTube by someone here who basically kind of breaks it down, saying that our U.S. government
doesn't get cheaper though. You don't realize how inflation works. It's inflation
would benefit
rate.
if inflation was reported as being lower than it actually is. Let's take a look.
Well, no,
in today's video, I want to explain to you why I believe that the government is underreporting inflation.
This actually does like conspiracy
so long
stuff at this point.
Story short, the government underreports inflation to cheat Americans. It's all
this
about
is his
the money.
take, but he just has found a guy to speak, speak his words
this is my
through.
opinion and the way I see it. Let me know what you think. Okay, so here's the situation. The government now reports that inflation is rising at a rate of 2.6%.
I'm gonna make my
this is just like a
screen
theory,
much smaller for this because there's going to be a lot of data on the screen. So I want you to think about that.
We're handing it off to the substitute
The government
teacher.
is saying inflation is rising at 2.6%. Okay?
But
this is actually just a guy.
Is really going up by 2.6% a year.
You put this on Twitter.
Is it truly
wow, that's really interesting.
But why
wow, look at this. This is Microsoft fucking PowerPoint ass presentation.
The true rate of inflation. What would motivate the government to
with question marks around him, .png, really.
So I could think of at
really
least
convinces
two reasons
me on this.
why. Number one, the politicians lie for political gain, and number two, the politicians and government officials lie so that the government saves money.
Now, when he says political gain, of course, what he means is if a politician is reporting accurately
Not the video play.
what
Phil.
inflation really is, and inflation is very high, people are going to be like, well, then you're doing a bad job as a politician. You're supposed to be a public servant. Okay? So if you're a public servant, why are you not doing things to benefit the American people?
Wow, yeah.
Government
you really
saves
got
money.
that.
Well, let's be honest. Our government is an insane amount of debt. And I'm sure any penny that they can save, they're going to try to cut corners no matter what. Okay?
So let's start with political gain. And this one's going to be short because it's straightforward.
I think we already discussed it. I mean, we already know. They benefit from people thinking that things are going better. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think
Bad news,
inflation
not a
actually
good look,
goes
not popular,
down, like,
doesn't
as in,
win
like,
votes, but
with
good news,
in
looks
negative
better,
inflation?
wins more votes. You want to stay in power? Well,
Like,
say
I don't think he
inflation's
actually
doing
understands how
better,
it works.
and people will just believe it,
I don't even
and there you
understand how
go.
it fully works, and I'm not
Okay.
going to claim I do.
Now here's the
but, like,
financial motivation.
So let's think this
we're
through
just skipping
logically.
through, okay?
The CPI inflation reports, which the government puts together, affects the income of 80 million Americans.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about Social Security recipients, food stamp recipients, SNAP benefits, military and civil service retirees, rental assistance, even school lunch programs.
For those who are not Americans, because actually some people who watch this show are not here in the United
Hey,
States,
that's me.
these are all social assistance programs from our government.
Wow, I never would have figured that out.
And everyone here pays taxes to our federal government.
And then Jade
The
gets
government takes the money
payout.
and then redistributes it to people who need it. So
Yeah, right, who need
people who
it,
are on Social
sure.
Security, you know, people who basically maybe they don't have steady income, maybe they're elderly.
You should be on
they
it.
get
You don't have
Social
steady
Security.
income.
Food stamp recipients, again, people who are on a lower income, they can't afford food, they get stamps to go to the grocery store and get food with, so they don't have to use money because they don't have money. Military and civil service retirees. What if you were a lifetime person in the military and you retired? Well, now you have no income
Yeah,
coming
the
in.
US is
You
known
need
for
to have
treating their
income, and the
veterans
government
very
gives
well.
it to you. Okay, so these are all these kind of social assistance programs, and this is the government giving this money out to these Americans. 80 million Americans are on these programs. Okay,
Now, imagine if inflation was truly 10%, okay? And imagine the government increased the annual cost of living adjustment to beneficiaries by 10%. That would be called fair.
Okay, so this guy is just saying
But you know what would
we
be
keep
cheaper
it low so
for
they
the
don't have to pay
government?
people.
If the rate of inflation was truly at 10%,
But they don't care that like, these social security programs
rate of
count next to
inflation is at
nothing for each
6%.
person.
now the government only needs to give a 6% raise to beneficiaries instead of 10%. So call me crazy, but I think the government is not playing fair and beneficiaries are getting cheated. So if you are a beneficiary in a program and you feel like your standard of living has been falling,
This is for like
I
dents
don't
to feel like
think
they're being
you're
cheated
going
by the
crazy.
government.
I think you're being cheated. So
My social
and
security
this
is
is
lower
funny
than it
because
was.
this is happening
Give me
across
more
the country.
money,
People have been
government.
saying this. Why do you think people just voted Republican in the last election? They're like, why is all
yes,
the news
Republicans known
saying
for their
inflation's
Social
going
Security.
down, but our prices aren't going down? We can't afford anything. So there's a disconnect here. How does that make sense? And people who are on these fixed incomes based on government assistance can't afford anything anymore. Does it make sense? Of
Even
course
in
it
chat
does.
they're saying
So-
low inflation doesn't mean prices go
He's gonna
down. It just
explain
means the
here.
rate
Let's
of
see
inflation is slowed.
Right, a dollar saved is a dollar earned. If they misreport inflation, then they don't have to pay people as much when it comes to these programs, and they save money. So here we go.
Damn,
So
there's
the
titties in the
original
chat, everything
calculation
over
went like
on
this.
So what he's
DSP's
gonna,
kick
this is
chat.
how they calculate inflation, okay? But the inflation
more
calculation has
interesting.
changed tons over the years. Tons. Here's how.
they would select a variety of everyday goods.
That's fair.
And they would see how the price changed over the course of a year.
Sounds
So for
reasonable.
example, let's say a pound of sugar cost $1 last year. Today it cost $1.10. So sugar went up by
That's like
10%.
nothing. That's like,
There you
isn't it
go.
like
Calculate
60p.
inflation like that.
Bro,
and that
people are
makes
getting
perfect
sugar
sense.
for 60p
That's
over there.
how inflation should be
That's
calculated.
great.
So that is very simple, and that makes sense, right? Now the calculation has undergone improvements to become more accurate. So the new method considers quality and substitutes. So for example, if sugar goes from $1 to $1.10, that's a 10% inflation rate. But let's just say that the price of Splenda, a substitute, only went up by 3%, then they could elect to go
Well, then
with
people
3%.
buy sweetener then, I don't know.
What? How does that make any fucking sense
But
at all?
people's wages don't go up in
Is Splenda the same as sugar?
you know, in
It's
relation
a substitute,
to inflation. So why would people's social
Splenda
security go up in
is
relation
more
to
expensive
inflation?
than sugar. So just because something that was more expensive
Like, you just have to deal
only had a
with,
3%
you know,
increase,
less.
that doesn't mean that inflation's
it's a hard
3%.
fact of life, I guess.
At all. But this is what they're doing. This is what our government here in the United States is doing. They're fudging numbers in order
Not really.
to
No, you can
misreport
just buy
things.
So
sweetener.
now,
I don't...
this is very important. The CPI no longer measures the change in price. It measures the change in cost of living. So let that sink in. The government also uses alternative testing measures in their calculations.
Well, of course they want it to be as low as possible.
Is with
so they can-
housing. The government
not
uses
a
a survey
complete shit
called
show, but-
owner's equivalent rent. They ask people.
I
what
mean, in
do you think it
general,
would
with
cost
most
you
figures, aren't you
to
better,
rent a similar
you know,
place?
finding out the
What's
lowest,
your best estimate?
you know,
So you
going
know
off the
what would be more
lowest,
accurate?
just to be safe.
To use
When people
actual
figure,
price
like, when
changes
people
of
work out
rents and
DSP's
home prices, the
champion
data is
spending, they go with the
easily
lowest
available,
figure to be safe.
but they prefer not to use it. So it's interesting to note that the government reports inflation has gone up a total of 20% over the past
This is so.
4
This is
years.
actually like a Microsoft.
However,
Look, it's got the
actual
fucking
home prices
a
have gone up
random
by
JPEG on every
80%
slide and
in
everything.
the past 4 years.
The text sliding in. This is actually
And there it
Microsoft
is.
PowerPoint.
I mean, that's it. That's the end of the discussion. We have
Is that
factual
over?
evidence that our government has been lying to us in the last 4 years about
This
inflation.
guy's such a fucking
They're
idiot.
claiming it's only a 20% increase, but
Right, some
actual
random Asian
prices
guy in a
have
shirt
gone
doesn't
up
fit.
50%.
He's figured it out.
So
No one else
how
did this.
Are they getting away
It's
with
over,
this?
government. We should be hanging them.
Really?
We should be getting out the guillotines.
How? Why are we allowing our government to lie
You
to
do
us?
something about it then, Phil.
And I just want you to think about
Everyone's
this. The people who were in
government lies to
charge.
them. Everyone's
who was in
government gets away with
charge
stuff
of
they
the
shouldn't.
government in the last 4 years? The Democrats.
Go
Okay?
fucking,
They
you know,
controlled
start
everything.
hanging them from trees or something.
Right?
I
They
don't
did.
know.
And they
Do
wanted
something
to
about
be
it or stop
reelected,
complaining.
And people were so busy saying, oh no, I'm afraid of Donald Trump. He's going to be a dictator and a fascist, and he's going to take away
Fascist.
all of our rights. There was evidence right
That's a
here
common
in
thing
our
with him as well,
faces
fascist.
that the people in charge had been bold-faced lying to us about everything, and we just didn't care.
Bro, MK Ultra happened, bro.
Vote for the
The government
Democrats
lie about
because
everything.
we
The
don't
government
like
will try and
Donald
mind
Trump.
control people,
But
bro.
the Democrats are outright lying to us about everything. Oh, that's fine. We don't like Donald Trump. Vote
It's
for
the
vote for
Democrats.
Trump.
Just the
Wait, what?
Democrats.
That's,
Okay.
I mean, again, this is what I was saying 2 weeks ago.
This guy
The
acts just like a
Democratic
5-year-old.
presidential race was not a race on any facts. It was a race on fear-mongering, because that was their stance. They realized if people sat down and analyzed facts, they were going
Now we're
to
just
find
dick
shit
riding
like
Trump
this
again.
and be like, ooh, shit. We've been lied to all
Oh
this
my
time.
god, guys! I
Yes,
just saw a random
you have
Asian
been.
dude on
Outright.
YouTube say the
And
government
by
was
the
lying.
way, for clarification purposes, I just want you guys to
The
understand
end
something,
times.
okay?
What is this?
It's not just the Democrats.
Okay, so this
It's
entire
all
rant was
people in
pointless.
power.
Okay,
They
so
lie
what are you
to
gonna do?
the
You're gonna
American
start.
people constantly, up, down,
start
left, and
culling
right,
them?
in every single possible way. And we
Okay, we're black pilled.
It
We're
happened.
black pilled Phil.
we keep voting the same
Doomer
kind
Phil.
of rich people into power who don't have our best interests in mind.
This is
who
all
only
a
care
ploy for
about being
DSP
part
for
of the
president.
1%, controlling all the wealth. Do you think rich people are affected by this
This
inflation?
guy really hates anyone who's better off
No,
than him. There's no
they're
other
not.
reason behind it.
They're already ultra rich. They don't care. But we get affected by it. You and me, normal people.
You
are
don't
the
get
ones
affected
who
by
are
it
like, "Oh, I
because
don't have enough to
it's
pay
not
for
your
stuff
money
this
that's
week."
being
They're so
fucking
filthy
wasted.
rich, they'll never
You're a
not
leech
have
on
enough to pay for
society.
stuff this week. So they don't care, but they don't want to incite a panic. They don't want people to lose trust in the system.
At least the fucking politicians
wanna
have to go to
save a
like
buck,
meetings and shit. DSP
and that's
is
all they care
nothing.
about.
He's an actual
And
net
it's
negative
both
on
sides
society.
of the aisle. Both Democrats and Republicans have been lying about this kind of stuff for the absolute longest time.
Guys, politicians, lie.
That's what I mean. Like,
Thank you.
they don't care
Thanks for
about
coming to
inflation.
DSP
They don't care.
politics
But,
for my
so
hot
hide
takes.
the problems and just say business as usual. The system works. Everything's great. Now, listen. You may hear me and say that I'm jaded and I want everything to burn down and burn down the system. No, I'm
One
not saying
person
that.
said that.
But I do feel like we do need to have some kind of change in this country.
Okay,
We need to have
you
a
wanna be
shift
any more
in our
vague
political
about it?
system so it's not the same exact class of people controlling everything forever. We can't just have the ultra rich controlling everything for
like-
every person because they don't
Communism?
even know what it's
I don't
like to be a normal person. They're living in another existence.
This is so
of
hip. This is
affluence
so
and
ironic.
protection. They fail up.
Yep.
They actually make mistakes and get rewarded for the mistakes and
This
get
is the
wealthier.
perfect example of that.
How can we have those people in power forever? How would they ever have any connection to reality where they can help out? How can you be a public servant to someone you don't even relate to?
This guy is so delusional. He thinks he's
I'm
like
just saying,
an average guy.
I think that we need to have a change. Things like this, we have outright
What's the change going to be, Phil?
evidence.
Evidence. Some
That
random
the
Asian
numbers
guy
they're
on
telling us
fucking
in the
YouTube.
news. This is reported on the news. Inflation is down.
This is
2
genuinely like
percent.
your dad
Then
finds
why when I
something
go
on
to the store
Facebook and
is everything
thinks it's like
a
just
third more
completely true.
expensive? It doesn't make sense. You are lying. You're fudging the numbers using selective statistics to make us not panic.
Yeah, literally a guy who lives in a gated community
Okay.
and doesn't go outside
Ladies and
telling everyone how the world is.
Thank
Because
you.
some random Asian dude said on YouTube
We have,
that the
okay,
government
I
was
think we're going to go
lying.
into our finale. I have one major segment and a minor segment to end the show because I do want to try to end it around 9 p.m.-ish.
Is PM
I
limited minus?
received
Very cool.
a generous tip
Okay, so someone
of
just...
$30.
Oh, no, they haven't even covered the whole lot.
Very nice. Thank you, whoever this is.
Downside pimple, then it'll
Let
clean
me,
up.
I'll
It'll
play
sleep up.
animation and then I'm going to
Don't
read.
worry.
They have a big statement to make here.
A big statement.
Where? $30 tip. Thank you.
Holy fuck, this takes so long. He has to find the
Oops, I misclicked.
animation, put the
No.
name in, change the king's
Okay.
tax.
A $30 anonymous tip. That's the biggest tip of the show. And that gets us up to $92 to support. Guys, again, we only have about 30 minutes left on the show.
Oh, thank
So
fuck.
please support the show.
It's nearly over.
Let's hit the goal tonight and continue the streak. Okay, listen to this. In the first episode, you said you're not fond of Trump nor Harris. You also said that while Sanders sometimes says things that you very much agree with, you wouldn't really consider yourself a fan.
I wouldn't send him any tips.
Nice if it would scroll.
I might send him a super chat. Though.
Of him
Maybe
either,
a gifted
due to his
sub.
ultra-liberal stances. The reason you gave it the time for disagreeing with the stances came down to the fact that someone always has to pay for it. The money has to come from somewhere. This is very true, and I want to point out that Sanders has presented a solution. The 1% and particularly the 0.001% should pay a lot
hates the
more than they
1%,
do
we've
currently.
established that.
That's where the money can easily come from. The ultra-rich are currently hoarding an obscene amount of wealth.
Yeah, you know what happens when
this
you
is something that you
take
even
everything
alluded
to
to
the
on
rich,
your
they
podcast.
take the money and leave.
I don't like the golden parachute. I don't know the details of Sanders' plans, but this sounds reasonable for solving this problem to me. Shouldn't Elon Musk, of all people, be forced to actually benefit society? Just saying. Well, FYI,
Elon Musk guy who
I
makes
watched a
rockets
video
and
a few
cars
months ago
never
on my
contribute to
now
society.
retired React show, okay? And that video explained that the ultra-rich actually pay less taxes than most normal people. And
Yeah, but they
here's
still
why.
contribute like 20%
They take
of
their
the
money
fucking total amount
and
of
they
tax,
put their
right?
money into these investments. These investments
If it's
that
even
don't
like
get
right
taxed
in Britain,
until they
like
actually
I'm pretty
take
sure
money
60%
out
of tax is paid
But they
for
just
by
never
like
take the money
10%
out.
of people.
They take all of this money, they put it into the investment. Then that investment sits there untouched. They never pay tax on it. But because they now have accumulated wealth, they can go to a bank and say, here's my assets. And the bank says, oh, great, let's lend you money. And they'll lend the money and they'll use the lent money to go
But you have
spend, to do
assets,
things with. Then they make profit on what they're doing and they pay back the lent money and they literally never pay tax.
But if they make profit, then they're stimulating the economy, right?
And that's what all the rich people are doing. They literally
else is
are
benefiting
taking
from it,
this
not just them.
affluence they have, putting it into these accounts where they make money on it, but they don't ever get taxed on it. And then they just borrow and make more money.
All his
So they
opinions
never
are
have to pay
right wing
tax at
until
all.
it becomes
So,
the economy, in
someone
which
like
case
Bernie
everyone
Sanders
above
looks
him
at the
should suffer.
situation and says, this system's broken. How is it that an average person in America, the average freaking person, is earning money and has to pay a third of their income, which is roughly what it is. It's different for different people in different kind of jobs, but it's about a third of your income has to go straight to the feds. Okay? Why is it
He just
that they
hates
have to do
taxes?
that,
I don't know.
but not the ultra rich? The ultra rich, because they're rich, have things that they can invest in, and then they're just rich forever. It's not fair. It's a broken
They're
system.
rich forever because they're
If
ultra
they
rich
can do
anyway.
it,
I mean,
I should be able to do it too. Why can't I take my money
You can.
and invest it into that and do it? Because I don't have money.
Okay.
Because I'm not ultra rich. You need to be ultra rich to be tax free. Does that make sense? Why would the people who make the most money not have to pay taxes, but the people who make less have to pay all the taxes? So Bernie's idea is no, change the system, tax the rich. But there's a problem with that.
Oh,
Guess
here we
who
go.
controls the system? The
It's for-
ultra
what do you-
rich.
Oh my God, Phil.
They're the ones in power. They're the ones who are the lawmakers. They're the ones who are in Congress, the House of Representatives.
Guys, nothing matters,
the
and the
Senate,
rich
the
control
House of
everything. We should all
Representatives.
kill ourselves. That's
President is ultra
DSP's,
rich. Every president. There has never been a president that wasn't ultra rich. The entire,
I mean, you have to, yeah.
judicial branch, all them, the Supreme Court justices, they're all ultra rich. Everyone's ultra rich. Oh, by the way, they're all in the pockets of all of the corporations.
Okay, so
because of lobbying.
Why are we dick riding
So
Trump
the
again,
corporations pay them to do things that benefit the corporations. So you again have an entire class of people who rule over us,
half of this
but we pretend like it's a democratic
like
system. Oh, well, we voted them in. Well, did you have a choice to vote for someone
like,
who
eat
wasn't
the rich
ultra rich?
stuff.
I rest my case.
Phil, you're richer than like
didn't-
90% of people
The people
in the
who are
US.
not ultra rich don't stand a chance to ever be elected. You
Phil
have
is
to be
probably
ultra
near
rich
the
to be in
10%.
power in this country, and those people will never change the system to not benefit the ultra rich. If they did, they'd actually be a public servant. They'd actually be what a politician was originally intended to be in the inception of our government. But we haven't
It's the
had
most,
real
like,
politicians
fucking
for a while,
basic-ass
at least
take.
in my opinion. What we've had is people who pretend to be the role, but instead they're wealth gatherers. That's literally
That's
what they're
how-
doing. They're just gathering everything
The
up.
wealth gathering
Wealth
instead of
for me,
what?
wealth
Like
for
chucking
me,
it
wealth
away.
for me, none for you. But I'll pretend to be your buddy. I'll pretend to be your friend. I'll pretend that I'm a public servant.
what Phil
but in
does.
reality, you're not. So that's what's, in my opinion, what's happened. Now, Bernie Sanders, listen. Some things I agree with him on. Some things I don't.
I mean, yeah,
I think
DSP is
the
like
guy,
a net
sadly,
negative, like
is
monetarily
very,
to
off the
society.
deep end when it comes to his
He blew all his money and
ideas.
he doesn't pay
He wants
taxes.
everyone to have everything for
And he
free.
had people
And I don't
cover
agree
his,
with
his,
that at all.
his
I don't think that
bankruptcy.
everyone should just get everything for free. I think that there's people.
I
who
feel like at
have
that
to
point you
earn
have no
things,
opinion. Like, your
okay?
opinion doesn't matter.
And the way that his philosophy is like, just give everything away. But if you do that, who's going to pay for it? Someone has to. Nothing can just be given away without having someone else pay for it.
You can't get mad at us
I
if
definitely believe
you
we need to have
don't
a more
pay.
fair system. Our system right now is not fair. It's not. The responsibility is not put enough upon the right people. If someone is ultra rich,
He realizes that, doesn't he not realize that
They
these
should
people
have to
still
pay
pay a
taxes.
significant
Period.
amount of tax
they
that
shouldn't
goes a
have
lot further than
ways to
everyone else's?
shelter all their wealth from tax. It shouldn't exist. But those systems were created by the ultra rich. So of course, those systems will be in place endlessly unless somehow we change our government so the ultra rich aren't making the
But
laws.
how can you change the government if
You know,
the
how
government
will
is
you ever
run by
have
the
a
ultra
change?
rich?
Right?
Doomer Phil? Black pilled Phil. It's all over, guys.
Okay. Let's continue. Actually, this next one.
Okay.
All right, this is going to be a good one.
We went on
All
some
right?
weird
By the way,
society
I
rant. Now
received
we're
a
just moving on.
$2 tip. The last real public servant politician we had was JFK, and then they murdered him. I'm not a scholar on JFK.
Okay, we're not,
Perhaps I will have to
no
look
opinions
further
here.
into it.
No
Certainly,
opinions in my
there have been
politics.
quite a lot of people, right? Quite a lot of people over the years who have had that conspiracy, right? That JFK actually was trying to be a true public servant, and the people in power didn't want that, so they got rid of him. They offed him. I don't know if it's true or not.
Is that like even
I
a
don't know if
conspiracy
at this point, I
feel
don't
like
think
that's
we're
pretty
actually going to have.
accepted that it's like not.
I don't think we're actually
above
going to
board.
have an answer. It's been so long, right?
It's not an above board assassination attempt.
There you go. Okay. All right. Are we ready? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for a little bit of comic relief. We've had a nice show, almost
this
2
one's
hours
gonna be
now.
the worst one.
I think it's time to have a good laugh. So this week, once again, we're continuing on with this pattern of celebrities
Oh
who
no! It's been
cannot
like, Mark
handle
Hamill said
that
something on
Donald
Twitter.
Trump won the U.S.
Oh,
presidential
I thought we
election.
were shut about Trump.
They can't handle it. All right, and so they are coping and seething all over
Wow,
the
we're
globe.
gargling
I
his
literally
balls.
mean this.
Ah,
They're actually
deeper.
coping and seething
Please,
all
Trump.
over the globe. This
I can
week,
take a couple more inches,
over in
please.
Italy, there was this big film awards, film festival,
Who
all this stuff was
cares,
going on.
man?
And all these very left-leaning celebrities
Yeah,
were
all
there
90% of
talking
creatives are
about the
left-leaning.
results
Who
of the U.S.
cares?
election. And the one particular that I want to talk about tonight that a lot of news outlets covered
They're gonna go.
is Sharon
We
Stone.
don't like Trump.
American
And then Phil's gonna go,
actress.
hey, cope
All
and
right?
see.
You may know her, you
stupid
may
bitch."
not.
And that's gonna be it.
She was very popular in the late 80s, all through the 90s, and in the early 2000s. She had some big roles. She even won a big award.
I don't even
All
recognize
right?
this lady.
So, Sharon Stone, here she is in Italy,
Don't.
accepting a
the
Lifetime
2000s.
Achievement Award. Okay, at this film festival or whatever it is, some kind of a big celebration. Okay, so it's the Torino Film Festival. That's what it was. She was
I feel like
honored
I've
with the
never seen
Lifetime
this lady in
Achievement
anything.
Award. She didn't mention Donald Trump by name. She appeared to be referencing the president-elect and his supporters while sharing
Damn,
her
she aged
thoughts on the
really bad,
incoming
though.
administration. All right,
Sorry, that's rude.
let's hear what Sharon Stone has to say.
I think we have to really stop and
Yeah, this
think
isn't
about
politics.
things. And we have to stop and think about who we choose for government. And if, in fact, we are actually choosing our government,
That's what DSP said.
or if the
They
government
agree.
is choosing itself.
Sharon Stone.
What? Okay, so they're on the same. Yeah, they literally just
we
said the
are
same
choosing
thing.
the government, or if the government is choosing itself. Let's continue before I make a comment.
Is speaking
You just said
out
that.
on the post-election climate in the U.S. The Oscar nominee didn't hold back at the Torino Film Festival in Italy on November 24th.
The DSP just said
where she
like
was
they're
honored
evil and
with a
corrupt and we
Lifetime
should take them all
Achievement
down,
Award.
and then she said
Though Stone
they're
did
probably
not mention
in each other's
Donald Trump
pockets.
by name, she appeared to be referencing the president-elect and his supporters while sharing her thoughts
it?
on the
Is
incoming
that seriously it?
administration.
You know,
Okay, there's
Italy
more.
has
Okay.
seen fascism. Italy has seen these things. You guys, you understand what happens. You
I
have
love
seen
this. It's like
before.
one
My
weird,
country is in
disconnected
its adolescence.
like making fun of another weird
Adolescence
disconnected
is
freak.
very arrogant. Adolescence thinks it knows everything. Adolescence is naive and ignorant and arrogant. And we are in our
I can't-
ignorant,
to be-
arrogant
I'll give
adolescence.
Phil credit where it's due. He knows how to pick nice, easy targets at
We
the
haven't
end.
seen this
You know,
before
let everyone go
in
home
our
happy.
country. So Americans who don't travel, who 80% don't have a passport, who are uneducated, are in their extraordinary naivete.
According to the State Department, 51% of Americans hold a valid passport as
Oh, wait. Oh, burn. Ooh. Access Hollywood with a sick burn
Wow,
against
yeah, who
Sharon
knew
Stone.
Access Hollywood
Damn,
were
they
really
didn't have to
getting
say
the
that. They
heavy
could have just let
hitters.
it go. They're like, no, we got to call her out on this one. They immediately got her. Boom. Fact
Well, yeah, the point.
check. You
I
don't
mean,
know what
it's
you're
not
talking
like a
about.
literal
Wow.
point,
As
is
of
it? The
October
fact is that
2024,
I don't agree with it,
up
but the
from
point is like
46%
people
the
that
previous
aren't
year.
well-traveled or
Stone
well,
publicly supported Kamala Harris in the
educated, but obviously it's
What?
stupid.
She did? I never would have suspected.
election, and her latest comments come months after she told Deadline that she was considering a move to Europe in light of the political tension.
You
in
Phil's gonna go,
Oh,
then
she's
move.
considering a move to Europe. That sounds familiar. It sounds like
We all
something we
say
talked
that,
about
no one
last
cares.
week, but
It's-
you know, I just can't seem to remember.
It's a lame
It's only
celebrity
the most viewed clip
grandstanding.
of the show from last week, right?
He's such a fucking, I don't know, he's so petty. Who cares about this stuff? This isn't politics.
International Day for the Elimination
This is
of
literally
Violence
just like
Against
the
Women.
lame. This is what Phil
And
said.
the
This is
actress went on
drama
to
shit.
explain how honorable men should step up to make sure women aren't waging this issue alone.
The only way that we can help with these
He doesn't
issues
give takes. He just like, I
is
don't
to
know.
help each other.
I really don't know how to describe this. It's such a
Now,
strange
we can't just say
setup.
that women should help women because that's the only way we have survived so far. We must say that good men must help good men, and those good men must be very aware that a lot of your friends are not good men. And you can't continue to pretend that your friends are good men when they are not good men. And you must be very clear-minded and understand that your
Clear. Minded. I love how she said it that way.
friends who are not good
Let's
men
not going on that
are
road, Phil.
dangerous,
I
violent
mean, every
men.
time Phil makes fun
And
of
you have to
someone, it's
keep
just
them
making
away
fun of
from your
someone for things Phil does.
daughters, your
It's why he pronounces
wives,
stuff
and
weird.
your
Who
girlfriends.
does that?
Because this is a time when we can no longer look away when bad men are bad.
Okay, it was just word salad celebrity bullshit.
So,
That's what we're ending on.
Sharon Stone weighing in. Right?
There's that Asian guy again. Let's
first of
watch him
all,
again. That looks fun.
It's funny because
New tax
she's
rule for
saying this
PayPal.
while
Oh
she's
shit, that
in
might be
Italy.
bad.
You know what I mean? Like, she's literally over there in Italy to say this at a Torino Film Festival.
It can't.
You know, I mean, she could be saying it here, which she probably has, admittedly, right? She probably
she didn't.
has.
I don't think she went
But she's
over
not
to
the only one.
Italy to talk
Like the
about Donald Trump.
Baldwins, I
She
think
went
Alec
over to Italy
Baldwin
to
was
talk
over
about
there
movies or some
saying
shit.
similar things and stuff like that. All right, so to be quite frank, it's not just her. It's just that she's one of the big ones that everyone was talking about this week. Did you hear what she said about basically Americans are uneducated? They don't understand what it's like to have a dictator, and so they, you know, that's why they voted for Trump. All right, so first off, before I even respond, I'm a little curious. I don't know. I'm trying to refresh my memory
might just
here.
cut it here.
Sharon Stone, she received a Lifetime Achievement Award over at the Torino Film Festival. Sharon Stone got a Lifetime Achievement
Give that shout
Award
to everyone. What are we on about?
at the Torino Film Festival. I want to refresh my memory on Sharon Stone's filmography.
Okay.
So in the 80s, where she got her start, she had a bunch of films no one ever heard of.
Total
Police Academy
Recall.
4,
Yeah.
Citizens on Patrol, she had a role. Okay, Action Jackson, right? And then her first big break really was Total Recall. If you recall, she played Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife in that.
Whoa.
A small role. Her big break, where everyone talks about, her most distinctive role ever that she ever
How many
did
things she
in
was nominated
Hollywood,
for,
where she was
Phil?
nominated for a whole bunch of awards. She didn't win any, by the way. She didn't win any major stuff.
This is
for
very
but she was
pet. This is
nominated
like
for a whole bunch.
sleazy. I don't like this.
Was Basic Instinct. Anyone remember this movie?
No.
In this movie,
I don't know.
she
This is
basically plays
feels-
a sociopath
Okay.
who messes with people's emotions. And the only reason that anyone remembers her in this movie is because in the movie, she crosses her legs and shows off her private parts.
All those nominations?
I wish
It
that
'cause
was
you
a
could see her
joke.
badge.
I'm not kidding you. That's literally Sharon Stone's claim to fame. Is
This is
spreading
so-
her
this is
legs
nasty. This
in
is
an
demeaning.
R-rated movie, and you could see her downstairs area. Okay? Now, continuing on,
Look how much
in
she
her
was-
filmography,
Look how many
she
fucking-
went on to try to be a leading woman in other movies.
Last Action
And she
Hero, that was a
got
banger.
the Raspberry Award for Worst Actress. But she also got the Most Desirable
There's plenty of like
Female
good
Award,
actors
okay?
who are in awful
Again,
movies.
Raspberry Award for Worst Very but Most Desirable
very-
Female
yeah, this
Award.
is nasty.
I'm
I don't
starting
like
to
this.
see a pattern here. Okay? Literally throughout her career, most of the time when she ever got noticed was not for her acting,
Keep scrolling.
it was for her body. Not for her mind or her
This is.
talent.
Oh, I don't like this at all.
Because
This is
she
really.
had boobs and a butt, right? Continuing on, she
I
did
don't-
actually get an award for Casino. So good on her for winning Golden Globe Best
Good on her.
Actress.
She won an award. What
Actually,
have you
no,
got,
she was
Phil?
nominated. She didn't win.
Okay, who
I
cares?
thought she
That's still
won.
impressive.
Oh, I guess she didn't win. Okay.
This
So
is.
she was good
I
at
don't know. This
Casino.
is sleazy as fuck.
But then
I really don't like this.
Raspberry Award. Should I keep going? Raspberry Award. This is in 2004. Raspberry Award for
Okay,
Basic
but
Instinct
who
2
the
when they finally
Raspberry
made a
Awards?
sequel like a
Who-
decade later. And then basically since then, do you remember her being in any of these? Do you
There's
ever
plenty
remember
of good
any
actors.
these movies?
Well, I'm not even going to say she's a
The
good actor because I've
Fading
never seen her in
Gigolo.
anything.
Oh, man.
But there's
when I
plenty of
remember when
people
she
with bad
played that
agents who get in shitty
Dr.
movies.
Parker Award in Fading Gigolo. It really touched my heart, and it's just one of the best performances I've ever heard. As you can see, and that's it. This is her filmography, her latest movies. What about Love? Yeah, what about it? Did you see this one? I didn't.
This should have been such an easy
Beauty
win for
here
Phil.
today. So the
But
point
he
I'm
just went-
making
I don't know.
here
It's just
is,
gone nasty. I don't.
this is a woman whose career was based on like a 5-year period where the only thing she was
Phil,
known
your
for
career was based off
was
playing
crossing
video
her
games and
legs
pointing
in
a
an
webcam at
R-rated
a screen
movie and then having
and
a
jerking
body.
off.
This, not even being a good actress, not even, but now she's going to go over to the Torino Film Festival in Italy and she's going to lecture us all.
If we
intelligence.
replay this, I'm gonna quit.
Like she's some fucking brainiac, pariah. I know everything about politics. I know better than
This is
you.
what he's doing.
You're all dumb and immature. But I know all about world
It wasn't
history
even a politics
and how
thing.
fascism works.
He said it
And how
right,
Trump
kind
is
of.
really a dictator and all of that.
Everyone of
I
them has
know.
said this.
By the way, hold on. Let me cross my legs again and try to make another $1 million. Right? What the fuck are you talking
I
about?
don't know. It's like
Are you insane?
I'm usually pretty like, you know,
Who are
fine
these
with, like,
Hollywood
edgy,
people
like thingy, but I
who
don't know.
have done
It just
nothing,
seems very
literally nothing, to
distasteful.
earn their popularity, their fame, their money? Flash in the pan bullshit. They gave her a Lifetime Achievement Award when she only was in like 4 good movies. And even then, she was just known as the attractive female in said movies.
What are
She
you
wasn't
known
even a
for,
good
Phil?
actress. But you're going to lecture me about politics in 2024?
No, we're gonna,
like you have
she's gonna
any
talk about it in a
pertinence
panel.
to anything on this planet? No! Sharon Stone, you're the same.
Phil, you only
as
play video games
Ellen
and jerk
DeGeneres
off.
last week.
You're gonna lecture
You
me
think
about
you know
politics?
better than everyone because you're rich and famous. But in reality,
Right, I'm
you
done.
don't
This is
live
just,
with the
I don't
rest
know.
of
This
us.
is just
You don't
sleazy.
see
I
the
really,
struggle.
I don't know. That's just killed my mood. That whole last segment was just, oh, it's very sleazy. Like, I don't even. That should have been like an easy win for Phil. Oh, out of touch person talks about Trump. Co-conceived, Trump won, end the stream. But I don't know, he had to do this weird. I don't know, it's just demeaning. I mean, like, I'm not gonna disagree she was a bad actor. She probably was, but like, I don't know. It seems a bit like, what's that got to do with her opinion? You know what I mean? Like, it just seems very, just nasty, really. Just mean-spirited. And this is supposed to be a guy who's like chill and positive and all that cool stuff, but I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It just makes me feel dirty watching it. I don't want to go because fucking hell, that was bad. There were some good segments in there though. There's some good schizo segments, but it really killed it at the end though. Like he usually does. He can never keep a good thing going. And by a good thing, I mean a really funny thing going. I don't know, he just made it too like, I don't know, like he had a personal grudge or something. I really don't get it. Anyway, there was some fun to be had though. There were some good moments. I especially liked the, what even was it? It was so memorable, I've already forgot. I generally don't know what it was because it was so like psychotic. He started like rambling about the 1% or something. I've actually already forgot the topic, it's that boring. What the fuck was it? What the actual fuck was he even talking about? I genuinely don't know. I was trying to make a point. I was trying to give him some credit. I was going to say, well, it was bad, but at least I had a good laugh out of it. But every segment was so forgettable that I don't remember what the funny bit was. Oh, the Jaguar thing. Oh, yeah, that was it. The weird implication that Jaguar was betting on Kamala Harris to win, and they would have made $1 billion and dollars if Kamala Harris won, because everyone would have been weird and a freak or something. I don't know, but because Trump won, Jaguar's gonna go out of business because they're coping and seething or something. I don't know, but that was a good segment. Probably not for the reasons he thought, but you know, all that counts. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. Been interesting, that's for sure. Way to kill the mood, Phil. You ruined it at the end. But I want to go. Everyone had a good one. If I'm not around this month, which I probably will be, but if I'm not around, December time, have a good Christmas. I probably will be though. Maybe with a fancy background. I'll see what I can cover. I like doing Dspolitics because it's very funny. Only time will tell what'll happen. So everyone have a good one. Take care. Have a good evening, morning, night, noon, somewhere in between. I don't know. Right, I'll see you later. Bye.